Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
I'm also here with James Farley.
Hello.
I'm not here with Sean Bell. Unfortunately, he has been kept up all night by a child, and now he's in sleepy Pete. Well, you know, this is the weird thing. It's because he's probably not sleeping, is he? You can't just go to sleep. Like he's probably up with another crying baby, and not another crying baby. He hasn't got two now. But yeah, he's probably up looking after his kid again. So love to you, Sean. We all know that feeling. It's shit.
Oh yeah.
But I'm bang up for this one. Bang up for it. Matt, you up for it?
Right up for it.
James?
I'm not looking forward to it. Right, at all. Well,
What?
as soon as Sean said that he wasn't in, I just know what this is going to be. It's going to be stupid noises. It's going to be just like
James.
And you've been playing like football the whole time, which is always
The
bad.
whole time? The whole time?
Since last Monday, you've been playing football.
Exactly. This is what I mean. It's going to be like this for the entire episode. So I've just not been looking forward to this. It's
Yeah.
James Farley. It's been quite an exciting week, isn't it? I mean, I'd like to. I mean, we should really go straight into the Cranky Gamer stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, we got a little mention on Cranky Gamer podcast this week. Quite an interesting one. Shall I play it? Because I think it's bang on. It's spot on. Right, let's give it a little listen. We only found out.
I don't think many people would have heard it, so we'll play it.
Oh, dark. What? We only heard about this morning, and I listened to it at work with a big grin on my face because they're so bang on. It's unbelievable. Ready?
The day, innit?
Oh, right. When you was like, oh my god, yeah, I like the people.
Yeah, when I was a cranky listener.
Do you know?
I wouldn't listen to me. God, I must be.
But you know what? You do raise a very good point, kind of touching on, and I'm not going to rant again, but you make a point because you was a listener to this show, and it does kind of create like a divide. And I've listened to shows before many years ago, and you do kind of feel like you know the people, and this is a dangerous thing. You do get an affinity with them because you listen to them every week. You think, I know him.
I will say this: I guarantee no one thinks that about me.
You know what? I know David Turner.
That guy's a prick.
I don't think I know that about you. So you know,
it's true.
Yeah, because they're ready to tell me about their lives.
Correct.
There's another show that I listen to, which is fairly big. It's very independent.
Barely.
UK. I think they were at EGX doing a show recently.
That's us. That's us, by the way. They don't even need to name the title because everyone knows.
I mean,
everyone
they said fairly big.
What does he mean by very independent? Can you be like fairly independent?
Well,
I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, technically, when we were with Spong, we were kind of fairly independent. They just put our show out there, didn't they? I mean, we did everything else.
We're very independent.
We're the most independent shit on the internet right now. What's that?
And then one of their hosts is about to have another baby. He's just openly told us all about it.
Yeah.
And he's actually leaving the show next year. And he's like, calls himself the main one. You know, he's like,
I don't call myself the main one, right? I am the main one. Okay, let's get that right.
Like, and it's kind of like, so I already know all about his private life. He's
going.
But
you feel.
But I don't feel the need to really contact him, and
you don't.
Also, thank you very much. That's great. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want to hear.
Trouble.
Him and
you don't. But
tell him, what are you doing? You're making the show shit.
Whoa.
Okay, whoa.
Okay, you're making the show shit.
To that. What's that about?
Matt, you're going to have to get used to comments like that, mate. I mean, you're going to hear them all the way through 2019.
This is better. This is brilliant. This is brilliant podcasting.
That's the fact that I'm leaving. And someone out there goes, no, don't leave. You'll make the show shit.
It's unbelievable, frankly.
Because just saying it like that as well, it's just harsh.
Yeah, but you can't be blinkered enough to think that that's not the case, right? You know that's what's...
Well, no, because it's just going to be different, isn't it? That's the only thing. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to be shit.
So you reckon that it's going to be different and the quality's going to stay exactly the same?
I would say the quality will remain consistent.
No, it's not going to stay the same at all. It's probably going to go up. That's the thing. That's what we're aiming for.
Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, if anything, that will definitely happen.
Matt Murray thinks the show will get better without me on it. So let's find out about that. Let's see how that goes this time next year. It's an interesting one. I'm considering returning to podcasting probably after about a year, maybe a little bit longer, but returning to the Cranky Gamer podcast rather than because those guys seem switched on. So fuck you, Matt.
and fuck you, cranky gamers. Now, are we?
No, I love them. Everyone tweet Cranky Gamer and go, you know what, you were bang on about the main one.
The show's gonna be shit.
Just bombard them with tweets. You are right, actually, yeah.
It's not going to be shit.
Obviously, we're going to work as hard as possible to make sure it's not shit, obviously.
How are you doing that?
I'm going to be stepping it up, you know. I'm going to be well on it.
Yeah, James has got a whole new persona he's working on for 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to recognise him.
Right, ready? James, the show starts. Go. Are you presenting?
I don't know. We haven't decided on that yet. I think.
Well, do you want to present?
No, but
right. Okay, so this is your new persona. Let's just give it a quick demo, right?
Okay.
It's like E3, and this is and who am I? I'm probably Sean, right?
Yeah.
Hey up! Welcome to the Computer Game Show. Unfortunately, Matt can't be here, but I'm here with James Farley. Hello, James.
Hello, Sean.
Is that it?
You weren't expecting that, were you?
Okay. Hey, what have you been up to this week, James? Hopefully it's something that's not connected to a big corporation, because I'll get fucking furious. Go on, what you been up to?
I've been all over the indie games, Sean. Just like constant indie games, like one after the other. On PC as well, only. Like I only play indie games on PC now.
James, do I need to tell you that you're working on your new persona and it can't just be playing games on different systems? You need to change your attitude a little bit, mate.
Well, I'm trying to be upbeat. I'm trying to be upbeat and excited about talking about, you know, indie games on PC.
No. Let's face it, Cranky Gamer were right. We're shit.
Did you say oh by gum as well?
I did.
Oh by gum. It's a
I
saying no one says.
I apologise to all our northern listeners, but that's the way I am. Matt, you've had an exciting week. Not only have you been tweeted by Major Nelson, you've also been tweeted by, what was it, Jack Tratton or whatever his name is?
Sean Layden. Yeah, so in the space of 24 hours.
That's it.
In the space of 24 hours, I won Major Nelson's giveaway. Does, I guess it's once a week, and I've entered that every single week for ages. And it basically says here's a simple question, simple answer. And if he chooses 5 random people, then you would win a copy of a game. This week it was Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I answer every week, and I don't bother checking it because I think I'd probably know if I'd won. And I entered this week and totally forgot until I was playing PSVR and stuff late on Friday night, and checked my phone. Suddenly I had 22 notifications, and I was thinking, oh my god, maybe someone big's retweeted our Life is Strange episode. But there was no notifications for the show, and it was me, and that basically started, hours and hours and hours of insanity in my mentions after Major Nelson had tweeted that I had won a copy of Black Ops 4. It all basically went off the rails from there, really.
I don't use this phrase often, right? Because, I just don't use it often. But very salty the replies you were getting.
Oh my God, yeah.
So the one person that actively entered the competition and didn't win said, enjoy your shit game. I was
Matt, why are they so angry?
So a few people are saying, "Oh, this is rigged. I've entered every week and never won. This is unbelievable." So you're getting loads of that, and I've entered every week, but I've never really seen this other side of this. And I'm like, "Oh, this is totally. I did not expect this." Anyway, so loads of people saying, "It's rigged every week. I enter, I never win." And then a few people, and this one particular person was saying, congrats to the legit winners, but 2 of them are podcast shows, and I feel that there needs to be another draw. Otherwise, these in caps random draws are rigged.
But that implies that Major Nelson, even at the lowest, knows who we are, but at the highest, ordered a fucking shirt. I don't think Major Nelson is involved with the computer game show. I think it's
maybe he's got a shirt and he uses it when he's doing his gardening and stuff. I like to imagine that.
What, like you do?
Yeah, he's out there in his garden. He's got his gloves on, and his computer game show shirt. He's loving it.
James, do you want to feel dirty? I've got mine on now.
Really?
I don't know how much you hate that. Yeah.
I can't believe that. Do you put it on before every? Are you like one of those people that watches football and then puts a replica shirt on when they're watching it?
No, Millwall fans don't do that. No, I got home from football. I needed to put on some clothes that I didn't, not too smart, that I don't wear too often. And, my computer game show t-shirt was there. And my Millwall trousers. So that's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing,
It's a very
James.
cozy
If you can't deal
t-shirt.
with that. If you can't deal with that, mate, you need to sort it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so someone kicking off because there's two podcasts. Like one, and I'm not a podcast. I just had like the name of a podcast in my bio. there was an actual podcast, like the actual podcast account, the one, and people were kicking off. I had people DM me saying, "Oh, please give me the code."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I found out. I saw one today. Yeah.
What's saying, can I have the code?
Yeah, saying, hey man, can I get the code for Black Ops 4? I'm broke, lol. Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you just reply to it and be like, no way, sucker? Like that, and then just like...
I'd already redeemed it like in 15 minutes. I got a DM from Major Nelson. I was like, that is redeemed. But I had other people saying, look, I know it's not a great deal, but would you mind like give me the code for Black Ops 4 and I'll give you a month of Game Pass?
Yeah. I mean,
tempted.
£7 compared to that's not going to happen, is it?
Matt, what else were they offering you? Because this sounds amazing.
No, that's basically it. And then then like well, yeah, I mean, basically, my Twitter mentions for Friday and most of Saturday were an absolute disaster. It's just I'm still getting people now liking the tweet announcing that I'd won, and then basically people saying, "Oh, because he almost died, he deserves to win. I'm sure he can afford to buy his own copy. I'd rather pick someone who can't afford the game." Oh, and basically, yeah, there's loads, and then it all just kicked off from there. And like,
what? Sorry, what? How did they? Why are they saying can't afford the game?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that because I've got a podcast, they assume something else.
They think you're loaded.
Yeah. I think I'm absolutely loaded off the old podcast.
How little do they know? It's
yeah. It
well,
was
you're
just amazing.
loaded, but
everyone's saying like, "Oh, you should do another one. This isn't right." I've entered loads and I haven't won. I can't believe this.
I assume this stuff happens every week, though, right?
They must be livid every week with the National Lottery.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's what I was saying. It must be every week. It can't just be like this week where it was like the what is it? The final nail in the coffin. It must be every week. He just gets bombarded with people that are extremely angry about not winning this game. That one guy that really kicked off that I got into a discussion with.
Oh yeah,
that
was incredible. He had such a salty ass. He was.
Yeah, I mean, but then I think the next tweet was more impressive. The one from Layden, or whatever his name is, the guy from Sony.
So that was
you
like
hadn't even tweeted him, right?
No, I had tweeted him. Well, no, yeah, I mentioned him in the tweet. Yeah, so that was a Friday night, and I finished Astrobot, and I put a tweet saying, "Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you to." And I mentioned the studios and mentioned Sean Layden and like Yosp and stuff. Yeah, and he replied saying.
On behalf of everyone at Sony Entertainment,
we really appreciate your tweet. Oh yeah, on behalf of Asobi Team, which is a Japanese studio, and PlayStation Worldwide Studios, I thank you for your generous shout out. We love this game too. So yeah,
did you check to see if he'd done that to anyone else?
He hadn't. No. So it's just incredible luck.
You did check.
I checked other tweets. He's not thanking every single tweet. No, he
right. Okay. Cool.
So yeah. So within the space of 24 hours, in the space of like 6 hours, really, I got a tweet from Larry Herb, Major Nelson, and Sean Layden. It's amazing.
You just need old
Reggie
or Shigsy.
It was quite the day. On
also,
Twitter.
I was thinking with the Major Nelson thing and people saying, "Oh no, it's podcasts. It shouldn't count." Blah blah blah. I was thinking, if they'd have heard our podcasts and stuff we say about Major Nelson, you know what I mean? It's
well of that, but also also Sean Layden. Like,
yeah, good point. What if he goes now like, "Oh, I'll go and check out their E3 show and see what they thought of it."
Man, we were not kind about Major Nelson ever. It's,
I know, we're arseholes. I stood on stage and said, I wanted to throw rotten tomatoes at the man. Feel bad now, but not too bad because I'm leaving, so it don't really matter. Right, okay. And that's been your week summed up, has it, Matt?
Pretty much, yeah.
Good. Well, let's find out what the listeners, how their week went.
I mean,
we released 2 podcasts last week. We did our spoiler cast for Life is Strange. Episode 1, Season 2. Yep, got it right that time. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great. And the response, has been really good. We even had one of the voice actors like the tweet or something.
Yeah, I think the lady who did the voice of Steph in Before the Storm.
Yep. Don't know who that was, but I can't remember that character. But that's fine. Was she the mum? She might have been the mum. I can't remember. But yeah, no, that was pretty cool. And so we're obviously not going to cover the feedback there. But if you have not listened to that yet and you've played Life is Strange, then God damn it, do it. And also, if you know anyone that's playing Life is Strange Season 2, then definitely tell them about our podcast, because although Reddit thinks we're a little bit too vulgar, I don't know if you read that comment.
I saw that comment, yeah, because we did swear.
Yeah. I could have done without the vulgar language, they said. Which was actually quite a nice way of putting it. It's usually a lot worse than that. But we want people to hear this and get involved and follow us while they're playing the game. So, yeah, it'd be good if you pass that on. It
was really good fun to do an episode. And yeah, I think it's worth playing the game. Listen to some of the stuff that gets said in that pod.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, some people were exposed. I think there was a bit of a narrative towards one member of cast at the start, and that shifted very quickly.
It did, yeah.
Right, okay, cool. What did they think of the last main show?
Well, of course, on the last show, I said some things, and of course, like the biggest bit of feedback.
Oh, the dream stuff! I'd forgotten about this.
Well, no, something like the Christmas sandwiches. Jack Miller tweeted saying, "Matt, M&S sandwiches are in. The Christmas sandwiches are in store now."
That's ridiculous.
So that's huge. We also mentioned new Switch hardware, which was rumoured. And one thing I forgot, that Jump Council podcast tweeted in saying, regarding the new Switch, you all forgot about the hack that's currently going around that can't be fixed with software, hence new hardware. We didn't realise.
Well, yeah, I know, but they're still producing the Switch. I mean, I don't think that's the driving factor on this.
No, they would have done it anyway.
Yeah, they'd have done it anyway. I don't think. Yeah,
but
that's probably a benefit.
But it's another big reason why it's where it can happen sooner rather than later.
Yes.
On last week's show, Simon Saint emailed in saying he's moving his PS4 somewhere that won't have a stable internet connection. We all question what the hell that meant. Basically, Simon is moving to the Highlands and he's getting a whopping 512 kilobytes a second on his download speeds. So. Unbelievable.
500 kilobytes a second.
Yeah, so he's assembling what he's calling a Criterion collection of PS4 single-player offline games, so he doesn't have to rely on a good connection. He will let updates run slowly in the background. Yes, Simon, they could be very, very slowly running in the background, that's for sure.
Surely you just use your hotspot, right?
Yeah,
on your phone.
Just take your PS4 to Starbucks and just get the Wi-Fi there.
Yeah, get the Wi-Fi there sorted.
Also, Sean mentioned Alto's Odyssey, which is that snowboarding game on Android. He called it a freemium game. It's only freemium actually on Android. On iOS, it's got it's got the full purchase. It's just in-app purchases on Android because of all the piracy and shit. We also mentioned YouTube Premium, and that you can't listen to music with a screen off. You can on Android. Basically, go to YouTube via your browser, and if you select the desktop site, close your screen, and you can basically play it from the Android controls. It doesn't really work on iOS.
Okay, we're not a help service. We're not IT.
I mean, that's just. This is not interface, Matt. Why are you including that?
I kind of agree with James on this one. It should probably be. I mean, that's just IT stuff. Okay, all right, go on.
Speaking of follow-up,
right.
Just retweet it, Matt, or something. You don't need to read it out.
He emailed. You can't retweet an email, Grandad. Tom Egerton.
Screenshot it. I don't know.
Fax it. Fuck. Tom Egerton emailed in. We talked about Microsoft's xCloud and Google Streaming before that. It's easy to dismiss the game streaming services proposed by Microsoft and Google, but I've started to think they may have a place in the market that's closer to home than expected. Sean, as a member of the PC Master Race, your value from the Xbox Game Pass is slim outside of Forza Horizon, but now you've subscribed, at least temporarily. Wouldn't you be tempted to use xCloud to essentially gain a virtual Xbox for a month or two, allowing you to take full advantage of the Game Pass library without having to shell out for dedicated hardware? Similarly,
why is that? Is Gears of War not involved? You can't get Gears of War on PC.
I think Gears of War was the only other one that Sean mentioned. Actually.
Oh right, okay, all right, fine.
Yeah. There are many.
Not Halo 5.
No, there's no Halo games out on PC yet.
Right, okay. All right, fine.
I think there was a rumor, or maybe it was like there was like a patent or something was rumored at one point for Halo, but for PC, but nothing yet. Anyway, similarly, David, Google's Project Stream could allow you to access very rare PC-exclusive games without having to faff around with hardware configurations, driver compatibility, or a billion granular settings that came along with opening and setting up your own PC.
But when was the last time there was a game like that I really wanted to play? I remember faffing around with hardware for Hotline Miami, but that come out on... what's it in the end? That come out on consoles.
The last one I can think of is DayZ, but...
DayZ's the only other one that I can think of. That was years ago. That was, what, 5 years ago now?
Yeah, it is a while. But, basically, it says here, if not to access exclusive games, then maybe to make sure you're seeing a multi-format game at its graphical best on your 4K TV.
I guess, yeah.
But,
both of these streaming services could also offer to replicate the Switch's current unique ability to play wherever you are. I'm currently taking advantage of the ability to smash out... I'll certainly take advantage of the ability to smash out a quick side quest or competitive match on my lunch break at work by streaming the same game I've been playing at home, picking up where I left off. I was just wondering if anyone else's interest could be piqued.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the biggest advantage of that, isn't it? You could be anywhere and just be playing these games, but it just depends how well, how good the internet connection is.
It's that, and I still don't. This is just me, but I still don't feel entirely comfortable with the whole ownership aspect of this either, because it is basically just like renting in it. Like you don't own anything anymore.
Yeah, of course.
Which I mean that has good sides and bad sides, but I mean one of the bad sides is what if when they take things off the service and everything. It's
no, I don't think ownership is going to be. I don't think that's going to go for a long time. To be honest with you, James, I think this stuff will be running alongside sort of traditional gaming for a while before we have to start worrying about that. But it is a worry. I mean, it is a concern. There's no doubt about that. But
it's definitely annoying, even on Netflix when something leaves the library, but then obviously you haven't. So I can see. Are you saying, James, if you're playing a game and that game just suddenly leaves the service, you're like, well, can't finish the game now? Is that the issue?
Well, no, because it's like with Game Pass. Because with Game Pass, they're not keeping everything on it constantly, are they? Like they've said that they will like remove stuff and put stuff back on and things like that over time.
Yeah,
and it's just. I mean, the other thing that I feel is a bit weird with this is. The whole thing with like Nintendo and how often they build like hardware for the games that they're making and everything. And this kind of gets rid of that, if you see what I mean, because you can't do that anymore, can you? If it's like designed so it plays on everything, then you don't get that sort of close, sort of like software and hardware thing that has been really good in the past, with that sort of stuff. But I don't know, like you said, this is not going to happen like immediately anyway. But I don't know.
Yeah, but how many games are like that at the moment then? Because
I mean, on Switch you got like a whole bunch of stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, on Switch you have. Nintendo are great with it, and there's a few exclusives for Microsoft and Sony, but really. In the main, most games that come out are multi-format anyway,
Yeah, I know, but a lot of the really good stuff is like the stuff that's made by the manufacturer, isn't it? I mean, that's why like a lot of like Sony's stuff has been really good recently. And like when we think about like PlayStation VR, like we've been playing like Astro Bot, and that was really good because it's designed for that hardware and everything.
Whereas, yeah, I know, but well, okay. Can I just be a bit of a prick just for a second, and for the rest of the podcast? You're not going to be streaming VR games to your through your browser. I think. Actually, maybe you fucking could.
Yeah, why not?
Shit. Next question.
On last week's show, I mentioned that. I thought it was a really common practice that people would maybe have dreams of celebrities, and then when they wake up, they're sort of still in love with that celebrity or someone Turns out, well, you guys thought it wasn't the case. Lots of people have been.
Oh no, we just said that it wasn't common. Like it's not like one of those things where you dream that your teeth are falling out. It's not that sort of thing. It was a bit like. It was the bit afterwards that you wake up and suddenly you're in love with them for a while that I found to wrap my head around.
For about an hour or so, you were like walking around still being in love with somebody who was a celebrity, not a co-worker. You made that very clear. As it went on. But,
Almost too clear.
You could say, yeah. Anyway, SMW has emailed in with the subject title, "If you think Matt was weird," which I like. Hi guys, after hearing Matt's discussion on dreams...
Wait, Matt, hang on. We haven't got like a ton of messages now of people's dreams, have we? Because I can't imagine anything worse than you reading out like loads of just dreams. You're not going to do that, are you, Matt?
No, he's not going to do that.
Okay,
Just let him crack on.
Yeah,
After hearing Matt's discussion on dreams, I felt like I had to write in a share story that will make Matt seem sane in comparison. Well, actually, this one does include a dream, James, but whatever. About 8 years ago, I had a dream that maybe changed my life. The dream was simple. I saw the actress Kristen Stewart and heard a song by Bruce Springsteen, both of which had appeared in a film I watched a few days earlier. Whilst this happened, I had the most incredible feeling of bliss, one that I've never ever felt since. Before this dream, I didn't really know either Kristen Stewart or the song. I woke feeling completely insane, dying to relieve that feeling of euphoria. Over the next few days, I played the song on repeat whenever I could and watched a film whenever I could as well. I watched every film I could with Kristen Stewart in just to feel a slight glimmer of that feeling again. Until this point in my life, I'd always been a fairly sensible, boring person, but in the chase for this high, I had a few weeks of experimenting with a few things and altogether going a bit mad. Within a few months of the dream, I'd broken things off with my then girlfriend, who I'd been with for 7 years. It was as if the dream had snapped something in me and changed the way I saw big chunks of my life. Looking back, the dream was probably there to give me a push to do lots of things in life that I subconsciously knew I needed to do. I can't really remember the feeling of a dream at all now, and I don't listen to that song anymore. But I've always been left with a strange, weird attraction to Kristen Stewart. Thanks, SMW. I totally know that feeling.
How do you totally know that?
I don't know. I mean, just the feeling about like waking up, having a feeling towards a celebrity,
changing your whole life because of a dream.
No, I haven't done that actually. That is insane.
When was the last one of these dreams, Matt?
What?
When did you last have one of these dreams?
I can't remember. Honestly, I can't. I don't know. It could be weeks because it certainly hasn't been in recent memory. But yeah.
You'll keep us updated, though, won't you, Matt? I mean, if it happens again.
I definitely will. Yeah.
Do we have a weekly Matt dream segment?
No.
Is that where we're heading?
If I have the,
I think you're going to be struggling for content next year, James.
If it gets bad, then that might happen. But
Yeah. So if anyone's listening next year and suddenly we're doing like a 2-hour dream section, you know what's happened.
Well, yeah, we all know where that was going, but we made that joke last week. Right? Okay. Cool. Was there anything else you wanted to say about dreams, Matt? Before we move on.
Yeah. So
are you done?
Thomas Lumberfluff 42 emailed in. Matt celebrity dreams. We need to address what he said and possibly arrange some kind of intervention for him. At first, I thought he was going to relate a tale of filthy celebrity fantasies. You know, the kind James has about Animal Crossing characters. But no,
true.
He's dreaming about her hitherto unnoticed celebs, then going to, in invert commas, events with them, possibly the local Tesco. No sexy times, just a meander through the mundane, only for the spell to break within an hour of waking up. I know you're all fans of Gervais, but this is full-on Pilkington territory for Mr. Murray. I can't. That's not fair. This ain't normal. Matt can stew and manipulate the Twitters all he wants, but you have to wonder what sort of mind produces these scenarios. I see a few tweets sympathising with him, but he's got form now for recruiting supporters from his work, so I don't attach much credence.
That is true, and also the point that Thomas is making there is that in the week you were just retweeting everyone that said, "Oh yeah, I have those dreams too," and just ignoring the ones that were going, "Matt, that was fucking weird."
There was one, and it was just from Thomas.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't count them, but it looked like there was more than one there, son.
No, just the one. And this is that tweet. In fact, he goes on to basically say, I'm basically a maniac. But yeah, he said I need an intervention. So that was the one negative tweet.
He needed to invent something.
All the rest are positive.
Yep.
Rob McElroy, yes, Matt, I know exactly what you mean about the dreams. It's happened to me a bunch of times in my life. Not once a month, though. Admittedly, maybe it probably was a month for me, but I've had a few. It's pretty normal, though, right? Matthew Francis at the Mafro can 100% relate to Matt's dream. Mike Diver, I've had 2 dreams when I'm with Natalie Portman, but both times we're doing the big shop in Asda, and I don't even shop in Asda, so what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, but surely you would then wake up and then shop in Asda based on this.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. But maybe he does, but it's too embarrassed. But yeah, that's Mike Diver. At Fofru, it's Aaron, of course. Dreamcat on Computer Game Show. I have dreams like Matt has all the time about people and places. I visit places, hang out with people in the dreams that are so vivid that for a short while after, it's all I can think about, and it fades away and it's gone. Even like...
How are you holding up there, James? How are you holding up, mate?
I'm not entirely pleased. I mean,
just suck it up, mate. What else are we going to talk about? Games that we've played before.
You know.
Okay, Cammy tweeted in, as mental as it makes me feel to agree with Matt, which I think's unfair, I've had dreams like that too. I remember standing in the kitchen making a cup of tea in the morning and thinking, I can't believe I'm in love with that celebrity, and it wore off after 15 minutes.
What is that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm in love with that celebrity.
Art John Denby. I've had them dreams. One was a radio DJ. I didn't even realise I knew what she looked like. Had to Google image search her the next morning to check. Yeah, I mean, basically, tons of people agree with me. I haven't had one since, so next time I do, I'll certainly let you guys know. Okay, last bit of feedback here. Sam Cook emailed in, "Hi guys, just wanted to say I'm so glad Matt and James enjoyed Astrobot. It was my biggest surprise at EGX, and as a complete beginner to VR, I think it's a perfect place to start and test out your limits. The purest moment for me was just getting stuck in a level with all the girders, not having any idea where to jump next. Eventually I realised if I stuck my neck forward and peeked right, almost like I was looking around a door frame, I could see a tiny little platform off to the right where the bot could jump to next. I appreciate how difficult you guys are finding it to describe how lovely this game feels in VR, because I just described what sounds like nothing, but so many tiny details show a real love and understanding of both VR and all the features of a DualShock 4 that it constantly made me chuckle with the sheer joy of it. I think part of the problem with a lot of VR experiences is that they feel quite cynicky and gimmicky, like someone trying to make a quick profit. Astrobot feels like a developer who really believes in the technology and its ability to bring joy by shifting your expectations. I also got a huge kick out of Beat Saber AEGX. So when it releases, I love to hear your thoughts on the full game. Also, MS Rangers said there's a demo out for Astrobot on the 16th of October, so that'll be yesterday if you're listening to this on the day this podcast comes out. So if you've got PSVR, haven't got Astrobot yet, get the demo that's out now, because it's fucking banging.
I've got to say, it's pretty exciting. Like, to hear that stuff, it's pretty exciting that there's a developer now that's really taking advantage of VR and people are sort of reacting to it in this way. Because it just makes you hopeful for the future, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it really does. I mean, James and I would talk about this, I'm sure, when we talk what you've been playing, but you've both been saying, like, this has totally rejuvenated my love for VR, like, it gets me excited, but I mean, some people have like said, "Oh, it's like the Mario 64 VR." I'm not quite sure it's like that, but a bit like Mario 64, where like you're like, "Oh god, this game's amazing," and then you're left with games like Croc 3D and things like that.
Yeah,
you're
that's
like,
true.
I've played some other games this week, and it sort of puts them into sharp focus. Like I've still enjoyed them, but you can't now play other VR games and hope they could be the same quality because they're not. So, but yeah,
I will say this though: you know the people that have been saying it's the Mario 64 VR. I don't think their point is that it's as good as Mario 64.
Oh no,
I think the point is
milestone piece.
Yeah, like when you played Mario 64, it was like, oh my god, I'm running around in 3D like this. This is incredible. And you know, a similar feeling with VR is it's doing all this stuff that should seem obvious, but they've never nailed before, and suddenly it comes together to make a really good experience. I mean, I doubt that it's as good as PokerStars VR, but I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
lots of fun.
When you guys get together, like you two, James, you need to bring a VR to Dave so you can try.
I've offered to lend him my PSVR actually and the game because I really want David to play it before the Game of the Year show, but I want him to like play it without me sort of like being there, forcing him to play it. Because I really think like with this game, you need like time to just like get into it. It's not something you can play for like half an hour or whatever. You need more time.
That's very kind of you, and I will take you up on that offer, and certainly before the end of the year show, right? I will say this though, James, it would be stupid for me to take it, say, this month.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
You want me, like I want to, and you want me to give it the time that it deserves.
Yeah.
And the concentration that it deserves, and I mean, COD's just come out, and fucking Red Dead Redemption's a couple of weeks away,
yeah.
So
maybe
let
December.
the dust settle on those bad boys, and then and then might have to hit you up. But that's very kind of you. Yeah, I'll take you up on that.
Last bit of feedback. It's not really feedback, but basically we've got a computer game show design in Forza Horizon 4. So if you play in Forza Horizon 4, if you search the word Smesh on the design store, you can get a little computer game show livery for the 2017 Focus RS, designed by Joe Robinson. That's it.
It's not just a design. That thing looks incredible.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joe Robinson.
I work with Joe. But Joe Robinson designed it. It looks brilliant. I've got it on my car.
Honestly,
it's
Joe,
cool if you have
if
races
you're listening,
and seeing other cars having in the world.
But John, Joe, if you're listening, that is incredible, mate. It looks so good. Thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. It was really cool to see, and I downloaded it and we played it. My son saw it and he was like all excited that Daddy's show was on the in the game and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool. I really appreciate that.
I showed it to Chen, and she thought it was real and thought that Matt had done something.
What's Matt done to his car now? That's the feedback. If you want to leave us feedback, it's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter. Or you can email thoughts or questions or feedback to thecomputergameshow@gmail.com.
Okay, James.
Sony are going to soon let their
What
users...
are you doing?
What?
You had your transition sorted last time.
I thought that's what I did last time. Didn't
Yeah,
I just...
I thought you were going to do that every week now.
Yeah, but didn't I just go straight into it like that?
No, last time you went, this is the news, and then went straight into it.
Did I?
As it was,
okay.
you just like went into it and I wasn't sure what was happening.
I can't believe you fucked it.
Okay.
That's really disappointing.
That is a shame, yeah.
Right, this is the news.
it's a bit
Sony
late,
is going to let users change their PSN ID. So this is finally happening.
Come on.
But
Here we
there's
go.
a whole ton of caveats, which... I mean, this is like a Nintendo announcement. It's coming in early 2019, and there's going to be a beta is going to launch soon as part of the PS Preview program. So
about that, just before, basically you can't... It's only for people who previously had the betas, so you can't even sign up now to get it, so... Yeah, because I've never... Right. After being like an Xbox insider for a year or whatever, and every time the beta updated, it basically made my Xbox slower. I said, I'm not going to do it for PlayStation as well, it's just a joke. But then, I tried to sign up for this to get the name change thing and cannot do it.
Okay. So the first change is going to be free. So if you want to change it, once, then it's okay, you don't have to pay. But after that, they're going to start charging. And so... they're going to charge $7.99 to make the change again, or $3.99 if you're a PS Plus subscriber. So for each change. But didn't Microsoft do that with gamer tags as well for a while?
Yeah, Microsoft charged for gamer tags. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if they still do, but up until not too long ago, last year they were still charging.
And I thought that was way more expensive
kind of par for the
than
course.
£8 or £4.
No, I think it was a £5.
Okay, cool.
I think it was a £5. Yeah.
So anyway, but there are other problems associated with this, which is, the change in name only works with PS4 games originally published after the 1st of April 2018.
Okay, that's weird, okay.
Not all games and apps for the PS4, PS3 and Vita are going to support it. So you can do it, but then it may show up your old name or whatever, and it won't be the same in those games. But also they said there may be other errors because of this, but they're not very specific about what those errors could be. And then they said it's all right because there's a fix. You can just revert back to your original ID for free at any time, and that will resolve all the problems. So this is odd.
I mean,
this is an odd one.
I've wanted to change my PSN username since day one because there was an administrational error and I didn't get the one I wanted.
I can't remember yours.
Well,
I can't.
No. I wanted to have this one. So it's a really boring story. So I basically just wanted Matt Murray, right? MATMURRAY, right?
Oh, yeah.
But what I did was, because I thought I was being clever, there was like a Japanese beta of Metal Gear Solid Online, and that was the first instance of people could register their PlayStation. It had a different name back then, but their PlayStation IDs, basically. I was like, I'll do that, brilliant. And I played Matt Murray, but then the beta got weird, and then something fucked up. And basically now Matt Murray is technically available, but if you go to... Because no one's got it, but it's just errors if you try and register it. So
what is your PSN ID then, Matt?
It's Matt Murray with
Matt
3 R's.
Murray.
So even though this is now all going to be available, I still got a feeling when I search the one I want, it'll just say error. Anyway, do you guys want to change your names?
Nope.
No.
I do.
This is why it's not a big deal for me. And it's the same with the Microsoft one. I mean, mine's pretty crap. I know that. I'm not. I made it when I was a kid, but essentially. But I'm fine with it. It don't bother me.
Yeah,
it's certainly not embarrassing. If it was still Sega Dude, I might be interested in changing. But right now, I'm happy with my game tag.
Captain Toss or something like that. You'd want to change it, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I want to change mine because I want mine to be consistent. But I can also see if you had the gamer tag like the number 69 or something in it, which was cool 11 years ago. I can totally see why you'd
Was it cool?
It might be if you were 15 or whatever.
I don't think they ever described it as cool, did they?
I think when you were 14 probably. It was, oh wow, I'm so edgy. But so I can see why those people would probably want to change their PSN IDs. Well, this does sound like a total nightmare. If even they can't be specific about the errors you're going to get, I think it's just going to cause a world of pain.
I love the way that the fix is that just change it back. So they're basically just saying just don't do it in the first place. It's just going to be a nightmare. So just don't bother.
To be fair, I mean, if they're saying you can change it once for free and you can change it back for free, that's fine. I guess no
my
problem
question
with that.
is so, but if I guess your old one is still saved, then so then technically you have two, because if you change from whatever the original one was to a new one after a few weeks or months or years or whatever, and you got issues. So you'll have two PSN names, won't you, essentially? And also,
can you imagine trying to register a new gamer tag or PSN in 2018? Like, seriously?
Oh yeah, well, because all the good ones are gone, you mean?
Well, not even all the good ones, all the shit ones as well. I mean, they must have nothing left. I mean, we've all seen the pre-generated ones that they suggest that you have, and it's like Total Cool Man 618343218.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I can't imagine. It's like Twitter, I guess. You search anyone on Twitter, like any name, and it's taken. We really struggled with our show one, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, that was mostly because there's a character limitation. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this is good. I mean, they've done. Sony in recent weeks have said, yeah, crossplay is happening. This is happening. It's like maybe they're...
Look, listen. We're quick to jump on Sony when they're shit. And, all right, this is not perfect, but, at least they're trying. They're trying to cater to what people are asking for. So
it could be Nintendo,
can't say fairer than that, really.
But yeah, so we've had this. We've had and we've had crossplay, and then now there's rumours this week about them potentially patenting backwards compatibility stuff or bringing it back. So it's like they're saying, okay, what do people think we're shit about, and then they just tick them off the list. It's quite cool,
because
actually.
they've got a lot of work to do. Because, I mean, we've been very negative about Sony in terms of their practices towards their customers for a long time now. And, if it seems like they're trying to sort things out, then I can't have a pop at them for that, can I?
Oh, no, it's only a good thing.
Good. All right.
There's other PlayStation news, which is that apparently there's a malicious message is breaking PS4s. So
yeah.
This was first reported on Reddit, and it's where players receive a message through the console's messaging application, which then hard locks your console. So, first of all, the controllers and the sound output fails, and then if you reset, you just get into a continual error loop. And some users are saying that if you do a factory reset, then it deletes the message and fixes the problem. Others are saying that you need to delete the message in the PlayStation mobile app or through a browser. The fix seems to be that you can change your message settings to no one, so you don't receive messages from anyone, or friends, unless you've got arsehole friends that just send it to you anyway. But there doesn't seem to have been any response from Sony about this yet. There's no thing. I'm presuming there's going to be a patch in there. Soon.
Well, it depends how widespread it is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that now it's all over the press, or all over the internet. It's going to be a little bit more widespread. So maybe they're going to have to do something about it.
Have you guys changed your message settings?
I did.
I think mine's already changed.
Yeah, I changed mine to friends only, hoping
no
one fucks me over. But you can do it. You can do it online, or you can do it in the app. So, or you can do it on PlayStation as well, I guess. But
I've heard of bugs like this before, though. Wasn't there one on the iPhone?
Yeah, there's been ones on most mobile phones, which you can send a string of characters or whatever, and it will just crash it. But yeah. Usually get patched.
All right.
Okay, Microsoft is close to buying Obsidian. So this is a deal. It's 90% finished, and obviously they're known for Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fallout New Vegas. They've been an independent studio since 2003, but now it seems that Microsoft are going to buy them. They nearly went out of business in 2012, apparently.
Last really acclaimed game that they bought out.
Fallout
New Vegas?
Yeah.
Well,
that was a while ago.
No. It was. It'd be Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity is the Kickstarter. So I assumed.
They also had an Xbox exclusive role-playing game that they were working on that was going to be published by Microsoft, but then Microsoft cancelled it. It was called Stormlands, and that was in 2012. But now it seems they're getting bought. So.
Well, I mean, hopefully that they'll be able to, continue, because there's no doubt about it. Fallout New Vegas was a good game. Knights of the Old Republic, people love that. So,
well, the second game was good. It was. I mean, I enjoyed it. It just had loads of content cut apparently at the right close to release, but yeah, it was very good.
Okay. I'm sure this story is notable just for the comments from Obsidian, right?
Go on.
Well, you haven't. You just read them, James.
I don't want to read them. I haven't written those down. Why would I do that?
Read them, Matt.
Well,
read them, James.
Everyone's like retweeting this, thinking, well, basically that Microsoft were asked for a comment, and they said we do not comment on rumors and speculation. Said a Microsoft spokesperson, and then Obsidian said, unfortunately, we don't comment on rumors or speculation, other than to say that the Rumors album by Fleetwood Mac still holds up. Said an Obsidian spokesperson. So
this is why I didn't read that out.
Yeah, no, fair point, James. Fair fucking point.
On that being a surprisingly funny like comment from a spokesperson. Normally, it's just boring as fuck. So well played, okay. Obsidian.
Okay, well played, Obsidian. Next news story.
Okay, casting calls may have gone out for Bully 2. From Rockstar. So
exciting.
There are apparently 7 casting calls for, and because obviously this is not, it's not called Bully, but it's called like a new unannounced video game title with a leading UK games developer shooting at Pinewood Studios. This is like the inverted commas thing. These calls are mostly for teenage and young roles with placeholder names for the characters. And in the casting call, it says that you'd be expected to do act out. It's like mild violence, profanity. Will be used in the scenes with the young performer. The project itself is a thriller/drama, and all scenes with the young performer will be handled with sensitivity. And
I don't know about that. This is Rockstar.
But then also it says some of the casting calls also directly mention college professors as well. So I don't know. I mean, it looks like maybe this may actually be happening. No. It's
you should totally apply. Yeah, no, good. I mean, I've been watching a bit of Bully recently. Actually, James Buckley's been streaming it on YouTube, and I've just been checking in on that. And it just reminded me how much I loved that game. I thought it was brilliant.
It was.
I was a big fan.
And imagine that, on current generation consoles. How much bigger that town could be, how much better looking the whole game could be. Yeah, I'm excited. It's always good when Rockstar are doing anything, but when they're doing something that isn't GTA, then I'm even more interested.
Waiting for a new table tennis
fingers
game.
Crossed. No, although I understand that was pretty good, but yeah, no, that or Max Payne or something, that would be.
I remember I played Bully on Wii, I think, because that you released it on that, and it wasn't as good on that because it had motion controls. And when you had to do the lessons and stuff, and you had to do motion controls, it was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. I played it on the PS4 actually, PS2 actually. Mm-hmm. Well, the PS3, but on backwards compatibility or whatever. I had one of those launch PS3s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I was interested in getting a sort of smarter version on 360, but people said they had major frame rate issues. So yeah, no, that's all good news if that's true.
Yeah. And in other Rockstar news, today Dan Houser talked about how Red Dead Redemption 2, they're working 100-hour weeks to get it finished. And which has been a thing.
Yeah, I mean, after recent stories from Telltale, I don't think you should be running your mouth about that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, this just reeks of bad management, doesn't it? There's people going, on Twitter, oh, yeah, I don't know. The commentary behind it has been frustrating, because it's always about, the investors, they shouldn't put pressure on. Well, no, just fucking manage your workload. Manage your workload properly.
Yeah, but
that's
there was always
the
issue crunch with everything, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's also not
but not 100-hour weeks, Matt.
But also, Rockstar can release this pretty much whenever they want, can't they? And they're guaranteed it's going to sell really well.
Well, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I don't. No. That's not how business works. If you've got investors,
if you're Rockstar,
which
whenever that comes out, it's going to sell. If it came out,
of course it's going to sell. James, of course it's going to sell. You're absolutely right there. But when you've got investors involved, every day that it's not out, they're losing money. So if they've got a deadline to release the fucking game, they're losing money. They've got to keep to their date. There's no doubt about that, right? The problem is that when you've got that release date, how are you managing your workload to make sure that you ain't asking people to work 100-hour weeks? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but then maybe you have more realistic deadlines for when you're gonna release it.
Look, we all know that right, okay, yeah, I understand that. But I do wonder, we don't know the ins and outs of it, obviously, but you do have to wonder that how many features and tweaks and, how long have they been in development for before they've gone into this sort of bug squashing area of the game? It's not it's not straightforward. From what I understand from the stories that I've read about developing a video game, it's not straightforward, right? And shit can get hard along the way, right? But I do like, how have you ended up asking people to work 100-hour weeks? Now, again, they might be offering overtime for that. They might be paying for that service, and people might be okay to work that. I'd be surprised if they were, because 100-hour weeks, that's fucking insane.
Well, do you want to hear what Rockstar said about this?
Go on.
Have
they commented since the story came
they've
out?
clarified.
Go on.
We have a hard-working company. It is a privilege to work at our company and our labels, and I believe that our work practices are sound and appropriate. It is a very busy time, but it is time that people are anxious to participate in, and I stand behind it.
Yeah, I mean, if you read that in isolation, it sounds shitty. But if you read the first bit of the clarification, it does say, that we don't ask anyone to do it. We don't expect anyone to work this way. They're senior people who work really hard because they're passionate about it.
It's a privilege to work here. It's a fucking disgusting attitude, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're privileged to have staff that are willing to do this stuff. Do you know what I mean? Let's not. Come on. I don't know. Whatever. We don't know enough. Goodbye. Next.
I don't know.
That's it. That's the last story.
Okay, cool. Should we do what we've been playing an hour and a half into the show? Yes. What are we running at?
I don't know.
Just over an hour, I think. I don't know. I can't really
it's just
see the screen. My eyes are blurred.
I don't think it'll be a long show.
No.
Okay. Right. Should we start with Call of Duty? That was the big release this week. Unfortunately, I've had 2 nights with it. Saturday night, Sunday night. And Saturday night, I don't even remember. I was fucking hammered. I went out Saturday during the day. I got in about 8 o'clock. I upset everyone when I got home. I sat down to play the game, and I congratulated John on getting a victory for us while I was that drunk. And he said, I wasn't even playing it last night, Dave. What are you talking about? So yeah, don't remember much about that first night, but we played it for a bit last night. Early impressions for me, I don't know about you, Matt, are very positive. I stand by my concern over the price tag and the fact that it is just those 3 game modes. But everything we played last night, I loved. So we played a bit of multiplayer, like the standard deathmatch stuff, and we played some Blackout. The standard deathmatch stuff, man, I mean, we were getting absolutely hammered, like spawn death stuff, all of that. But it just felt great. Like, I really enjoyed it. I loved the special abilities. I loved the map design. I was getting I was rarely getting kills, but when I were, it felt like I really worked on them rather than just spraying bullets everywhere like you get, say, in Destiny sometimes.
It was pretty manic in like the standard deathmatch, standard like modes like kill confirmed, and there was another one. It was like classic Call of Duty sort of multiplayer where you're just getting shot every 2 seconds. But yeah, you can definitely you can feel the quality. The guns feel fantastic, and it is satisfying as fuck to shoot someone. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to work a lot harder. And a Chet who we're playing with says, once you hit like level 5 in that kill confirm mode, it changes because you can set your own loadouts and stuff, so it makes it a little bit better, a little bit easier. Well,
that's it. I mean,
it's going to take some hours just to get to a place where you understand it and feel it a bit better.
Yeah, that's something that you forget really when, and it was always in Call of Duty. It was always a thing. And it certainly was I played quite a bit of World War II in multiplayer, and it was certainly like that in that. When you start off with fucking nothing, man. You are cannon fodder. You're those bots in Titanfall. You know what I mean? You've got no good weapons, no good abilities. You've got no scopes. And it takes a while to start building that up. So, yes, when you first start playing this game, it feels impenetrable. Like you're just dying constantly, and you don't really know why, and it feels horrible. But if what we've been told is true, that by the time you get to level 5, you can start building your own class and actually building characters to sort of like to your strengths and how you're playing, then the game starts to open up more. But the thing is although Chet was saying, this is horrible, this bit, until you get to level 5, it's really hard and you're going to get battered. I still fucking loved it. I still really enjoyed it. So that's a good sign. The only concern that I have is that, and this is where I do find it hard with Call of Duty. I played a lot of World War II and I really loved it. But then they started releasing these map packs, and I wasn't really fully prepared to start paying out for just maps, right? And that kind of felt like it's split the player base a little bit, and then that's where I dropped off. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like I haven't got the full game anymore, so yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's the same with a lot of games.
Stop playing it.
Like Destiny, if you haven't got DLC, you feel like, well, you're out of the game now in many ways.
But I'm assuming that they're never going to do that with Call of Duty. They're never going to get to the point where it's like, no, let's keep the player base together. You know, much like Rainbow Six and Overwatch and stuff like that. Do you think?
I release new maps, and you'll need to buy like a 10, 15, 20
No,
map
I think they're going to do that. What I'm saying is that I can't see Call of Duty going the other way and doing it like Rainbow Six does, where everything's essentially free. You know what I mean?
I'm sure they make way too much money on the map packs to do that. But who knows? I mean, but this has microtransactions in. Because
it will have, but there's none yet apparently.
Right? Okay, yeah. Because obviously Rainbow Six does, and other games do, like Destiny does, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends.
Yeah, but they never felt nasty in Rainbow Six. You knew what you were getting. You can pay for the season pass to unlock all the characters and stuff straight away, rather than earning them. It made sense in that game. I can't see them doing this for this. But I very much enjoyed the multiplayer. I can't wait to properly get into it. Like, it's got enough systems there for me to go, okay, I need to sit down and take note of what I'm doing. I can't just run and gun in this game. Let's look into this a bit more. But obviously, with the short amount of time we played it so far, we haven't got to that level. We'll be playing. I don't know about you, Matt, but I'll be playing it most of the week.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm basically playing this and Forza and based until Red Dead now.
Blackout though. That's the Battle Royale mode. I again love it. I think we've had a few games that have been frustrating where we've landed and got killed straight away, or we haven't quite got the lay of the land yet. So sometimes we're flying somewhere and it's either crammed with people, or one of us has accidentally floated off to another part of the island or whatever. That stuff happens, and that's a bit frustrating. But I love the pace of it. It's killed PUBG for me. It really has. I can't see myself playing PUBG after playing this at all.
No, it feels like a much more refined, much quicker version of PUBG. It feels solid. The gunplay is obviously fantastic, as it has been in Call of Duty games.
Way better. Yeah. I mean, when you come across people, you genuinely feel like you've got a chance. In PUBG, it was like I could just fire bullets at you all day and you'll turn around and pop me once in the head and I'm dead.
Yeah, we've been playing. I mean, I play this like every Friday. We've been playing PUBG, and we're getting to the stage now of getting really hacked off with it, actually, with that, because we've got it down so that we can get like into like the last sort of 12 people or whatever, but we never win because we just get shot seemingly from nowhere. No idea where it's coming from at all, and it also, like, you're pumping tons of bullets into like where somebody is or whatever, and there's never seems to do any damage at all. It's so frustrating, that aspect. That's why we were thinking of starting on Fortnite, because maybe the shooting mechanics, is it supposed to be more sort of arcadey?
Yeah, I mean, shooting it's different. I mean, the shooting it's probably more reliable than PUBG. I wouldn't say it's better. I mean, I think they're both of a type for sure. But yeah, I mean, you might as well. It's a free download. You might as well give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a go, but I mean, the thing that might screw you up, James, is that you'll get into the top 20 or whatever, and then, I mean, you really need to learn that building mechanic. Yeah. Because it's just ridiculous. You get into the top 10 in that game, top 20, and you're walking into a fit, and it's like nothing you've seen before. It's all of a sudden, there's just massive towers everywhere, and if you're not building constantly, then you're dead. But
if you can get the building down, it's absolutely immense fun. But in terms of Black Ops, in terms of Blackout, yeah, I mean, I've only played that one night, unfortunately, so far. But yeah, I'm going to keep playing this. It feels great. It feels like, because,
But we've had so many stories, many stories have just been hiding in like warehouses and stuff and covering each other's backs and, chasing people down or all that stuff. It's just, that's what these games are about for me. That's what I like the most, the stories. And I know this is harking back to the beta, but when we played that, but when I had that game where most of my team landed on the top of the construction site area, and I veered off because it was absolutely rammed with people, found a helicopter, flew it onto the top of the construction site and was like, get in! And they were all popping shots at my helicopter. It started to smoke, but we managed to get away and then fly over to the dam. That stuff is just brilliant. Like, it's brilliant. And it's the sort of, it's the gaming experiences that you keep in your head for a long time.
Yeah, it's much more arcadey and exciting. I wonder if it's going to have the same level of tension that PUBG has, but PUBG has attention for a number of reasons. One of which, obviously, is that some of the games can last an age, 40 minutes or longer, because you're camping up, you're sort of traversing this huge map, eventually to get the win, but because you spend so long looting, buildings to get better guns and attachments and helmets and all sorts of stuff, it gets incredibly tense when you get to the final 10, 5, and final 2. This doesn't have that. I mean, we've won games and it has been tense, has been like ridiculously tense, like PUBG has been in the past. But it's certainly been tense, and you're getting down to the last 5 or 5 or so people. I think because the games are much quicker, there's less pressure, and therefore it's probably less tense as a result of that, because games are quicker.
That's
you can
right,
get back in
but
quicker.
also,
You're not like, I've got another 40 minutes or 20 minutes of looting for ages and then getting killed in PUBG. This is much more in and out. Games are quicker, much more instant in that regard. So less tense, but it's still got that pure excitement that these sorts of games bring.
But yeah, I think I would take that over the amount of time. I mean, we've spoken about how little time we get to game these days. And all right, we do all right for ourselves. It's not like we're really struggling. But when you get a couple of hours a night, what I don't want to do is spend 45 minutes looting and then getting shot in the back. Because it's like one game done, it's like, oh, for fuck. And I agree with you, it doesn't quite have that tension that PUBG does. But if it loses that little bit of tension, like, it's still tense, but if it loses that little bit of tension, but you're not going to have moments where you've been spending ages just walking into houses and picking shit up only to be shot out of nowhere, like, then I'd take that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd rather this than that,
Yeah.
I think it's going to
take a while to learn, to learn the best weapons, or I guess just go on the subreddit and look at and see what the meta is. But it feels like there's shitloads of guns, and it's hard right now when you see one on the floor. Like, is that better than the one I've got? That's not as easy. But again, I think that'll just come with time and just people knowing what the best ones to go and get are. I love the fact that you can
I've been getting
scopes.
Way more kills.
Oh, really? Way
more kills in this than I did PUBG. I mean, last night I had a game where I got like 4 or 5 kills, and I was like, this is. I mean, it just feels better to shoot.
It does, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It also helps that it's not in third person, so sometimes you can totally flank someone, and they've got no idea you were there. Which I'm sure I'll be on the other end of, and it'll be frustrating as hell at some point. But right now, I seem to be able to get around people well enough.
Yeah, it's great to have helicopters again. Like, PUBG doesn't have that. That feels all battlefieldy in a way. To have
also the map feels fantastic, doesn't it? Really?
And the locations are great because they all feel unique and memorable in their own way. Whereas with PUBG, sometimes a lot of it is just, it's particularly with the original
same
map.
house.
Yeah, it's just same sort of models across different areas. You really know which area of the map you're in, and also I love the fact that from the initial drop, you can go to any part of the map. You can pretty much do it in Fortnite, really, but you couldn't really do that in the original PUBG map. But I love the fact it is quick. You can get to anywhere from the first drop in Blackout.
Also, depending on what news site you read, this was either a total disaster or a massive success.
It's weird, isn't it? Because some of them are like, the digital sales were insane. Like, especially on PS4, it's done really well.
It's the biggest Activision digital game of all time.
Yeah.
So that includes Destiny 2, Destiny, all the other Call of Duties, but the physical sales went down 50%.
Yeah.
But it was still number 1 in the charts. You know what I mean? So there's no way. I don't think this is a failure at all.
I mean, it's basically, it's had the strongest day one digital sales on PlayStation Store in its history. Also, the biggest day one. The biggest selling digital game for Activision on the Xbox Store. So clearly, it's done absolute numbers. And yeah, I mean, 50%. That I mean, obviously they're still going massive numbers from that, but they're going to have.
I wonder how many of them know that there's no campaign, and if that's a genuine issue.
Yeah, but there is a zombies campaign, but yeah, there isn't the standard campaign as we've always known it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard sort of anecdotal stuff about people returning the game to stores because it didn't have a campaign in it, and it's not. I mean, the advertising, I don't. To be fair, I haven't really paid attention, so I don't know if they make it fucking clear that there's no campaign in this. But I mean, going by the footage alone that they use in it, I wouldn't have clocked it had I not known.
No. Have you ever played the zombies mode before?
I have. We played a bit together, right, James?
We did. But
World War II.
We didn't play for very long because we didn't think it was that great. But I don't know. I've never really enjoyed that.
So is that not Left 4 Dead like, or what is it like?
Nope.
No, it's definitely not Left 4 Dead like. It's more horde mode in Gears of War. Yeah. So that's I mean, I'm willing to give it a go. Why not?
Definitely, yeah.
But I've never got into one, so I'm not holding massive hopes. But to be fair, if I'm still enjoying the standard Call of Duty multiplayer and the Blackout, then I'm going to put many hours.
Definitely,
into this.
yeah. This is going to be my multiplayer game of choice now for a long time, I guess. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it.
I guess. Cool. All right. This doesn't interest you at all, James?
It does, but it's just I don't want to pay money. It's the problem. I mean, I need a mat situation where I just get it given to me. But yeah, I should have done.
Yeah.
But
Carl, could you imagine if you both won? That would be. You imagine the tweets. The tweets.
If it was, I mean, if it was free, I'd definitely play it. I quite enjoyed the beta.
If the game was free, then he'll definitely get it. Activision.
I don't want to pay £50 for it because it's just I don't know. Seems a bit.
It'll come down eventually, and I mean the Blackout mode will still be there.
Yeah.
That's the good thing to think about.
I mean, the people I play with would definitely be interested, but they're just not going to shell out that amount of money for that. Which when we don't know, like with stuff like PUBG and stuff, it was it's not a lot of money to like take a punt on and see if it's any good or not. But yeah, Call of Duty is a bit expensive.
Yeah, I don't know the history of whether these games hold their value. I think they do to some extent, but they
Call
do
of Duty
drop.
did, yeah. I thought that usually
Call of Duty
in the more recent years they've dropped in price, but for a long time they used to hold their value for quite a long time.
But this one, I mean, if it is just the one map for a while in Blackout mode,
yeah,
which I assume it will be, then I've got a feeling that this is going to hold its value because it's just that game mode. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're buying.
Yeah.
So yeah, be interesting. Okay, cool. What else have you been playing, Matt?
Well, I'm playing Forza. Have we all been playing it, or just me and you, Dave?
I have smashed the shit out of Forza this week.
Yeah, so
I think it's incredible. Like even more so than what I did last week. I absolutely adore that game.
Yeah, so I was still in the first season last time, but I've gone through that first season now. Part of the festival. I've done the first showcase after the festival.
Can we talk about that?
I mean, the thing is, like, so in one review, like when it first came out, they're like, we're not going to spoil it, but trust me, it's a special showcase. Whereas others like showed it in the video reviews. I'm not sure how widely known it is, and I'd heard of it anyway but some people treat it like a spoiler. I don't know.
I'd heard of it too. I mean, do you care, James?
About Forza? No, you go on.
Okay. Well, if you really don't want to hear, I'm not going to do a spoiler.
Just fast forward like a minute or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a minute or so. Yeah. So James, do you know what the showcase races are?
Yeah, this is like the big event thing stuff, isn't it? Where they have like
where you're like you're racing against like jet aeroplanes in the past and steam engines, hovercrafts, all that sort of stuff.
The Covenant and stuff like that, or whatever from Halo, yeah.
Yes,
hell, James,
you have heard of it.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. It is so good from the moment that it's announced on screen. There's like Chief, we need you or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you go over to it. I mean, it's just so good. When the music kicks in and everything, it just feels.
It was great to hear like Cortana's voice, and yeah, it's good.
I really like the fact that they've actually got the halo in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I love
the
that.
actual world like goes up and stuff like that. Master Chief is driving, and I even love it down to the ridiculous way they try and justify it at the festival. They go, wow, so I hear they're doing a lot with augmented reality at the moment.
Yeah.
I
like it. It's like, there's lots of dwellings here. Can you believe people actually lived here?
Yeah, no, I love all that shit. I like it's cheesy as fuck, but I think it's great.
I did that, and now, so now I've done like the first year, and now my season, everyone else's season who's done the first year aligns. So I think currently everyone's on winter for like another few days, and then it basically switches to season. There's Forzathon. So is Forzathon, is that every hour, Dave? There's like a new challenge, or once a day, or
there's
what?
Challenges, but I've never got into them, so I don't really know much about them.
So then like the online really unlocks, and there's challenges every hour, and there's also like dailies and weeklies, and then Forzathon, I think, is like the thing where you can join up with like other 8 people and have like a collective task, like collective number of like points you've gained, like influencer points, or collective like number of drifts or jump distance and that sort of stuff. But I haven't really done that yet. I've got to that online bit, but I haven't probably delved into it. But I've
also had those races that are like, hey, if you drive here in 4 minutes, was it Forza Live or something? Where obviously it just gets a load of people from the server to do the same race.
That's the thing I was mentioning. Okay, well, yeah, so that's called Forza Live, is it? Okay. Yeah,
I've not done that yet, but I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, I will say one thing. I love the game, but it doesn't really feel like England, really. Does it feel like England to you? Like, I mean, there are bits here. If you go through Edinburgh,
does it feel like Scotland?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Britain. I apologise for the Scottish listeners. Yeah, if you go through Edinburgh, it feels like Britain. You know, if you go through that Ambleside, it feels like a British village and stuff. But mostly, it just the roads are really wide. I know they have to because it's a racing game, and if the roads are actual sort of British width, it wouldn't work. But I don't know, most of it doesn't really feel like Britain. It's still fun. It's cool to see British signs. I don't know what I'm really expecting them to do to make it British, but it doesn't really feel like I'm driving in Britain. It just feels like...
I would probably say, if you want to sort of see where that detail is, slow down a bit and drive around some of the pubs in it are insane. They're like just British pubs, British countryside pubs. They're great. Drive around them. Like,
I've done that because I've been collecting all the boards and stuff, and so
all the benches out the back and the boards on
cool, sort of drive around in a Mini, and I like the fact it's got those sorts of vehicles. But I don't know what I was expecting, but it doesn't feel. I'm not like, this it's so great because it's now in Britain. It doesn't really have that feeling that I may have felt.
There is a shame that there's not a motorway in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I did love driving around Edinburgh because I've been in Edinburgh a bunch of times for the Fringe and stuff, and it's just a great city. And it sort of had like sort of Metropolis street racer vibes, because especially in the night time, I just liked it a lot. But yeah, I wish there were more cities. I
kind of know what you're saying, but that hasn't bothered me at all.
Hasn't really bothered me.
I mean? Like, I think it looks enough like Britain for me to be okay.
Yeah,
they haven't got it bang on, but
I guess my trouble is it looks like Britain. It just doesn't feel like Britain. And I'm not sure what they could do. I just
more Tesco carrier bags in bushes.
Yeah, like Greggs on every corner. I don't know.
Greggs on every corner.
This one's set in Britain. I'm like, oh yes, like, you know, 'cause it's rare that we get games set in Britain. It's pretty. I'm sure I'll probably
service station with armed forces walking around.
Yeah, like a moto. But I don't know, it doesn't really feel like it. It's still cool. It just doesn't really feel like Britain. But I'm still having a blast with it. It's still immense fun. And even though there are a billion sort of icons on the map, I don't care because they're all really fun events. And I'm enjoying just driving around. And yeah, it's even better like a little computer game show, thing on your car.
Yeah, love that shit.
Big fan.
How about Happy Birthday Brenda scrawled horribly in black paint on a big banner put on a roundabout? Maybe they should put that in.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that. It's just, I don't know what I can do.
Wiping a tear, going, I'm home.
Oh, Britain. Yeah. It's got some nice moments, but anyway, it's not a downer. It's just something I want to point out, really.
Okay, well, you pointed that out.
I also, the adverts are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, when you turn it on, it's like buy the pack. No, I want it to be like something where I can tick. I was like, don't show me this advert again.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff has been in Forza for Forza Horizon for the past couple.
And I understand why.
It's always bad.
It's a business.
No, I don't really understand why. I don't really understand why.
But they've got to get revenue to keep us. I understand why, but it's just
all right,
annoying.
whatever. But the stuff about rate our game. I'm like, no, leave me alone.
But we had that last night in Black Ops 4. Like, I did a round, and afterwards, it was like, we've selected a select number of users to answer this question. And the question was, did you have fun in that last round? And it was like, yes, don't know, or no. And I got killed straight away, so I put no.
Yeah. He got killed just as he landed, James, and it said, did you enjoy that last round?
No, I fucking didn't. I got rinsed. Yeah, but at least give us like categories. Why didn't you like it? Was it like crap multiplayer code? Did you get smashed straight away?
That is stupid though, because that means that 99 people are definitely going to say no, and one person's going to say yes. So it's like 1% of people like blackout mode.
If it's categories, a bit more of a complicated form. But I'll say I'm loving the game, but that round wasn't great.
No, let's not get into that. I don't want more complicated forms popping up after I play a
questionnaire. What did you think of that round? Well, I guess if I'm dead, what else have I got to do? I might as well waste time. So without spectating you guys, I'll be happily filling that form out. The other thing, I finished Astrobot Rescue Mission. James has also played it, but the game continues.
Have you not finished it, James?
I have finished it. I finished it. Just now. Actually,
I got in to finish it before we started the pod.
That's why he was late. Go on.
Yeah, it's. I was only maybe I was on the last world last time, but it continues to impress. Throughout the last world, even like the end credits, like every single second is like something. Well, not every second, but there's something new around every single corner. It got better and better, and I think the difficulty ramped up really nicely as well. It was getting quite tricky at points towards the end. I'm just immensely impressed. How about you, James?
Yeah.
How long was it? Sorry, how long was it?
I think it probably took me like 8 to 10 hours. At first, each world was taking me 2 hours a piece because I was making sure I was collecting.
Matt. That's insane. It doesn't take that long.
Towards the end, it was taking like an hour world because I was like collecting every single every one of the 8 Astrobots and also collecting the chameleon. I wouldn't like go on to the next world unless I'd done all that stuff. So I think the first 2 or 3 were taking me like 2 hours a world, but then. Yeah,
so is it like an open world type thing?
No, it's actually, this is one of the things where if you start to think about it and you think about the design, you realise that it's obviously it's really funneled. Like you're basically going down like a tube, kind of. Really, it's just that you don't feel like you are because everything is so like expensive and like open, like to the left and right of you and all around you. You feel like you're in like an open world, but you're not really.
So is it sort of hub stuff like Tomb Raider style?
No, it's just basically a level and you go forward. The whole thing is just go forward. It reminded me a bit of like Crash Bandicoot to a degree in that way. If you sort of mean like just going straight ahead, but because of the fact that you are in the world like yourself, it doesn't feel like it's so restrictive when you're actually doing it. It's a very weird sensation. This is the thing that for me feels the most sort of amazing about it is the fact that you just feel like you're actually in it. And there's this one level. Can I spoil any of this at all? Like, there's one just bit that's fantastic with that. There's so much. There's so many really good bits with water. Basically, like they use water like amazing, like so well in it. Like, there's this one bit where you're like sitting there and there's like water. And then I suddenly realised, I was like, okay, I could put my head under this water. And
that was such a great moment.
Yeah, and like you do. Right, you put your head under the water and it's like, then like, have a look around and then like put your head out and then you've got all like the water all over your visor and everything. And it's just, because you do that so you can get a better perspective on what you're trying to like.
I've been a difference. I've played other games with water, not like, I think maybe like Robinson might have had a water section.
Oh, really? You've played other games with water?
Other VR games. Other VR games. Okay. And with other VR games, you basically, it's like, you want to maybe look under it, or because in those games, you're just literally out the camera, but this just, because you feel part of the world, like, there was a much more different sensation if you see a wave coming towards you in this game, where you sort of have that, you sort of have that excitement when you do if you're in like a swimming pool and there's like wave machine, and you have that second where you sort of kind of hold my breath or go under the water. There's that sort of like rush you get, and this had the same thing. I'm like, okay, I didn't have to hold my breath, but I wanted to see what was beneath the water. You're not just, this is like a wave from a game that I've seen in a million games, and I'll just look under it because that's what I'm doing in a game. It felt different, and it felt like a bit of excitement.
Did you feel, Matt,
James, you know that excitement when you're in the swimming pool and the wave machine comes on, right?
You guys have had wave machines.
James, what do you feel when you're in a swimming pool and the wave machine comes on? What was going through your head?
I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking, really.
You guys don't enjoy wave machines?
I love wave machines. I love it. But I'm just thinking, James, you just said to James, oh, well, you know that feeling when you're in a swimming pool and a wave machine comes on? I've got a feeling that either James has never been in a swimming pool with a wave machine on, or if he is in there and it comes on, he's like, right, I'm getting out.
No, it's not that. You just think, oh, that's different, isn't it? You know, it's like...
It is a bit weird because you do get very excited and then you realise that you're just bobbing up and down a bit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. I mean, don't get me wrong, wave machines have changed since we were kids. I mean, when we were kids, they did not give a fuck about health and safety, did they? Like, literally, like, fucking waves, like, ridiculous waves. Now it's like just a little ripple. It's not quite as fun. But, wave machines.
But
sorry, James.
The waves are good in this game.
The water stuff is really impressive, and I mean, I even like for a second felt like I needed to hold my breath, like when I went under the water. Like just for a second, you're just like, oh no, actually no, I'm not underwater. It's it's a very strange sort of experience. But I mean, as you said at the beginning, David, it's like the thing with this is that it's not that this is like as good as like Mario Odyssey or something like that, because obviously it's really not. But it is something special for VR, like absolutely.
Yeah, totally, yeah, and it sounds it.
And it's I mean, the final boss that I did like this evening, it's the first game for like quite a long time that I've like been aware of the fact that I'm sort of like smiling and laughing while it's going on. Yeah. And that rarely happens, you know, like when I play games, because I'm miserable.
Very rarely smile.
Yeah, because I'm pretty miserable, but yeah, this really got me going. Actually, it was really good. Yeah, I mean, really good ending.
Even the boss on World 5 is still really good in that regard. I was like, oh, it's just brilliant. And then you do the final boss, and
and it's just because also like that's the other thing about it is just that the difficulty curve, like Matt said, is really well judged. I think because. You know, like it always feels like, especially towards the end, it feels challenging enough that you're like getting a bit of a challenge out of it, but not where it's just getting really irritating and frustrating. It's very like Mario-like in that sense. But yeah, so good.
Yeah, I sort of want to go back to the first level again because I remember maybe the last world is all like neon, and I remember when that level opened up, I was like, "Oh my god, this looks insane compared to what I remember the first level being when it was just literally walk forward and jump on a platform." And this one of the later worlds is like platforms going everywhere, disappearing, rotating, and you're like hitting buzzers and being flung over from one side of the map to the other. It's
I guess they've got to warm you up to that though. They can't just chop that shit at you.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's kind of a bit of a disappointment in the sense of it is quite short. I mean, it's only like 5 worlds with how many levels in each? About 4?
Yeah, so there's
10 hours,
5 worlds, 5 planets.
It's not 10 hours.
On each of those 5 worlds, there's 4 levels and a boss.
Yes,
10 hours of gameplay.
10 hours. You can do each of those levels in about 10 minutes, like tops. It's it's quite, once you get like better at it, it's quite quick.
I like the mental image of you just smiling at this game, James, to be honest with you. I just imagine Chen like coming in after you've played it for a bit and then like phoning an ambulance. There's something clearly wrong with him. I mean, it does sound absolute class. I can't wait to play this, really. It's the first VR game that you've spoken about that I've gone, okay, now this sounds good. The other stuff, I was kind of like, okay, whatever.
As I said, it's the first one where I've been really like desperate to just keep going and to get back into it again whenever I can. Like the first thing I did, like for a couple of days, is just like come on, put the VR headset on straight away. And before, for me, there's always
just
been
marching into the front room.
Yeah, just march in there and just put the VR headset on, put the headphones in, leave me alone like that. I'm just gonna play this.
He's got his special hat on. And have you let the kids try it?
Yeah, both of them have tried it like for short periods of time because Chen gets really angry if they use it.
I know this sounds bad, but like, how old is Asher? I'm not judging, trust me.
He's 5, and he used it for I don't know about 15 minutes, and then Chen was like, "You got to stop." So
what do they say? What's the age restriction on it?
They say
12, yeah. So does that not concern? Like, I'm not judging because we all know that these health and safety warnings are like overblown to make sure. But did that not concern you? Like, just sticking? Because I was thinking of Harry with VR and stuff, and I'm kind of like, no, I don't want to do that to him.
See, I just wanted to give him a taste of what it was like, and then just so he could see, and then that was it. That's why he only played it for like 5 minutes or whatever. Because
and then I told him he's not allowed to experience that again until he's 12.
Basically, that is what happened. Actually,
oh god, that's awful, James.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this whole new colourful world that you can't use again for another 7 years.
I put some in Elodie's head as well, and yeah, she was blown away. She was like, well, what's happening? And then I took it off because I really thought she was going to be sick because I didn't want to risk it.
How long did she have it on her head for?
About 15 seconds.
Literally, she went, what's happening?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because I've been like playing that for a few nights in a row, so she wanted to know what's happening. But yeah, amazing. If you've got PSVR, get it. It's incredible.
Good.
Incredible. Yeah. And I've got Firewall 0 Hour to play, which I'm really excited. That's like the Rainbow Six like game. So I'm going to be playing that this week. Can't wait to see what that's like with the aim controller.
Cool. The only other game that I've got to talk about, because it's mainly been Forza and COD this week, I just a quick mention to Shenmue, and I'm back to enjoying it again because I've got out of that loop. Finally, James, it finally happened. Still totally ready for Shenmue 2, I think, because you do get a bit tired. I mean, I didn't realise that it was just essentially 2 main areas. I mean, all right, you've got the home and you've got a little bit of a town before you get to, what's the main town called? Debuata or something?
Debuata, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that I needed new places to explore now. So I'm getting there, but keep an eye out for my next stream. Hopefully, I'll make a lot more progress next time. One thing I did want to ask you, and I asked you in the chat, but I didn't see if you've replied. You mentioned that there's a horrific QTE bit at the end of this game, right?
No, it's at the end of Shenmue 2.
Okay. Because I'm doing like loads of the back end of that game is filled with fights. Yeah, it gets the fighting becomes like a major part.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything, but there's a pretty good fight towards the end of that one that I enjoyed.
I've done. I'll tell you what I've done. I've done the photograph. We've taken the photograph and I've chosen which one to.
Which one did you choose?
I kept the one where we were very separate.
Yeah, I did
the
that
first
as well.
one, yeah.
Because I thought I want to give her the nice one. It's like...
That's what I thought. Even though he clearly doesn't give a shit. He shows no emotion to the love interest in that game throughout the whole thing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's completely disinterested in
There's a bit where she's like, I'm moving to Canada. And he goes, okay, goodbye. It's so funny. I've done... Yeah, I've done loads of fights around the. I'm getting close to. Oh, that's it. I've just found out that Landy is still in. He's heard that he's still in China. No, Japan. Wherever I am. That's bad. Wherever I am.
You're in Japan.
I didn't. Yeah, so I think he's still local. So we'll find out if that's a lie or not soon. But no, I'm back to enjoying it again because it was just horrific the past few streams where I was just doing the same day over and over again. Yeah. So I'm glad it's moving forward now. Shout out to Shy Guy for sorting that out.
Hi, Mr. Shy Smile. Are you going to get Shenmue 2 done before Baby comes along?
I mean, that's the plan. I hope so. The problem is there's just... Well, they're not that long, are they? The reason this is dragged out...
Because two, I felt 2 was a lot more. It's a lot more focused, I think, than 1 is, and it may be. There's more things to do, I think, in it, but it still feels a lot more focused. I'd say. I
mean the main problem with this one, I would have done Shenmue 1 now had I not been caught in that bug for so long. I'm pretty sure because I'm towards the end, right? There's only a couple more bits to do. So I'm right at the end of my working stuff. So then, apparently there's not much to do after that. So once that's, I think I'm close to the end. If I don't finish it next week, then it'll be the week after, and then it's straight on to Shenmue 2. I'm going to try and do two a week, but with Call of Duty out and Red Dead Redemption just around the corner, I'm not going to commit to that, but I'm going to do a lot more shorter streams as well, I think. Where I've got 45 minutes to an hour. Of game time, I'll just stick that on. You know what I mean? I'm not really too bothered about getting huge watchers on, viewers on Twitch. So just keep an eye on. Sorry,
I always like to try and keep them to about an hour when I did streaming. I just don't longer than that. It's too much.
I nearly fell asleep on one the other week. I was right at the end. I was just yawning throughout the whole thing, doing the same day over and over again. But I'm hoping to progress through that. So keep an eye on at David Turner's on Twitter or at the Computer Game Pod or at Computer Game Pod on Twitter, and I'll announce my streams on there. Okay, James, what you got?
I only had Astrobot. That's pretty much all I've played this week. Apart from, I played a bit of Golf Story, which I feel like I've kind of turned the corner with that now, and I'm beginning to enjoy it more. But
do you realise what I was saying about those super shots?
Yeah, and
it makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
I just did the Well-Worn Grove Cup and won that, and now I'm on to the next bit after that.
Is that the really posh, old-fashioned one?
No, that's the one I'm just starting now.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, the game gets... Yeah, there's some really cool stuff happens there.
No, that's good.
So, yeah, I mean, hopefully it picks up for you.
And I started Fist of the North Star tonight, which I've only played, just very, very briefly, but... Yeah,
is that zombie Yakuza thing?
Well, no, it's not zombies. It's Fist of the North Star, which is
Fist of the North Star?
Well, Fist of the North Star was an anime series and manga from a long time ago from the 80s.
Right. So I thought this was like a spin-off of Yakuza.
No, there was a zombie spin-off for Yakuza, but ages ago.
I wonder why I thought that was Fist of the North Star.
But loads of people talking about a Yakuza fighting game. Is that not the online thing, James? I've seen people this week talk about Yakuza and fighting and all sorts.
Well, this game is by the Yakuza team. It's a Yakuza game, pretty much. I mean,
right.
It's weird because when you load it up, I felt like I was loading up another Yakuza game. It really, the UI, everything is identical. It runs off the same engine. The voice acting is very similar, and I mean, even Kiryu from Yakuza's in the game. You can unlock him as
it is actually a Yakuza game. It's an actual Yakuza game, Matt.
Yeah, maybe this is the thing you're hearing about, Dave.
Yeah,
but no, it follows. But it follows the anime from ages ago. I mean, the anime was brilliant. I mean, it's one of my favourite ones that I saw ages ago. I mean, you've never heard of it, Dave, at all?
No, I've never been into anime, and please don't think I'm being judgmental. If you like that stuff, you like that stuff, and that's all cool. But I've never got into it. So,
but the anime was interesting because it was like this Japanese studio's ideas of what that sort of macho 80s American action heroes were like, and then a version of that. So it's super masculine and kind of odd. And
this Devil's Third.
Really? I don't know. I mean,
that's what Devil's Third was like. It's ridiculous.
But no, it's. I mean, as I say, I'm only just starting it, so I don't have much to say yet. But I'm looking forward to playing it because it's more Yakuza, basically.
This week I also started Mark and the Ninja. Have you two played that?
No.
I thought you might play that, James. Actually, yeah. It's a stealth game that came out on Xbox 360.
It was wasn't it one of those games with what's it called Summer of Arcade games?
Yeah. It was 360 or original Xbox days. But even back in those days, everyone raved about it, saying it's one of the best stealth games ever. It's a 2D stealth game. I've got that for Switch. So I'm looking forward to playing that finally because I want to play that even back in the Xbox days, but never got around to it. And it was always on my wish list or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to play that. I thought you might have played that actually, James. But
yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe.
Okay, let's get on to emails, shall we?
Yeah. Who's doing it?
You.
What? I never said that I was doing it.
I don't give a shit. You're doing it.
What are these emails that are in here now? Have you put these in here, Matt?
Yeah, Matt's put them in there. He was upset that you didn't, but
why?
That's fine.
No one said. So
Well, yeah, but when Sean's not here, it's just assumed that you would do the emails and tweets.
Why would it be assumed when you do feedback already? So you're already in that kind of vibe. So I thought that would be what you're into.
That is the worst excuse.
Yeah, that's
you
terrible,
already do a lot of work, Matt. So
make do more work.
This is from Tom Durbin. He says, "Dear Sean, James, David, and Skeletor. Last weekend I went to my first ever.
Skeletor? Where's that come from?
Well, Matt's evil, isn't he? I went to my first ever public games event. A show hosted by From Software in Osaka. Although I couldn't get a ticket to play Sekiro, and despite having a relatively limited understanding of Japanese, the event was tremendously exciting. The highlight for me was the presentation for Dark Souls Remastered, during which a member of staff battled through Sen's fortress while a crowd of hundreds cheered her on.
I know what that feeling's like.
Yeah. When she defeated the Mimic, the whole room erupted into rapturous applause.
Yep.
Even getting to play the Switch version 5 days before release felt special, not least because the consoles and seats were arranged around a glowing artificial bonfire. As a gentleman lucky enough to have attended such events, have you found every occasion to be as exciting as your first? Also, for each of you, what is your best memory from a games event you have attended?
I think Dave and I have got the same stories here. But...
go on. No, right. I've got, because I read this today, and it's sort of chucked up a couple of things in my head that I've been to a lot of these events, right? Nothing really compares to that first event. Like the first time I was at, my first one was GameStars Live, where they had Halo 2 playable way before it came out. And it was a nightmare. I queued up for like 2.5-3 hours for it, got on there, and they wouldn't let me invert. I was furious, but it was that, like, playing that game felt magical because, you know, we were so excited for it, and, you know, getting to play it that early was just incredible. And as you grow older, I think that sort of drifts away, and I'm a little bit disappointed with myself this year because we were walking around the EGX saying not smug comments, but like making comments to each other about who queue up for that, and I can't believe people are queuing up for Fortnite or whatever, right? Which I get because it's our age and we know better now and stuff. But at the same time, who gives a shit if people want to queue up for that? Like, if it is their first event, maybe that's what they want to do. If that's how they want to spend their time, then you crack on. But you lose that excitement. When you go to a lot of them, you do lose that excitement to some extent. Or your excitement shifts. So obviously for EGX this year, the excitement was not only doing the live show and stuff, but also just getting to hang out with, you know, James, Matt and Sean. It was really exciting to, you know, it was like a lads weekend for us, you know. And it was great spending the time with you guys, and that was the focus that time. Whereas the first time I went, it was literally about the games that were at the show, and I was so excited to get to play them before they come out, and that's fine too. You know, if that's what it sounded like you had a wonderful experience, is what I'm saying, and I kind of miss that focus of the games when I turn up, but when I go to these things now, and I mean, we spend most of our time in the indie area, right?
Yeah,
like we like playing games that we've never even heard of
the
before.
queue for hours. So,
well, there's that, and also the fact that we'd never heard of them before, and you know, there's a lot of surprises in there. So that stuff's cool. As for my best, well, no, let's stick on that first bit first. How about you, Matt? Like, what's your feeling towards?
Yeah, I mean, my first one, I went to ECTS, which is like the Electronic Computer Trade Show. It was like in 1996. Me and my mate Matt Morley went. I had at the time, I had a Saturday job. In a model.
Why are you laughing, James? Is it because Matt Morley and Matt Murray turned up to the thing?
Yeah. Was that really his name, Matt?
Matthew Morley, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Matthew Morley and Matty Murray.
Also had a brother called Mike and John Morley, whatever. So at the time, I was like 16, I guess, and I had a Saturday job in a model train shop. Now,
no, you didn't. How have I never heard of this before?
Well, it sold like model trains and also like radio controlled cars and shit. It was in Bognor Regis. Anyway, regardless.
What was that like?
Well, I was 16. It was like a Saturday job. I mean, I don't really care about that stuff. I think it might have sold.
Do you remember any of the people that like came in?
What's that?
Was there any like? Oh, this is bad. I'm not.
Yes, there was lots of old men there. Was that the question?
Did they like start to like
what
conversations and stuff? Well, no. I'm not being a dick there. I'm just saying, like, were they like for example, right? Like, okay, this is the best way of getting my point across.
Just ask the question, yeah.
You know, when we go to game and you get frustrated when the person doesn't know anything about fucking games. Did you ever experience people getting angry at you because you didn't know model trains?
Because they knew I didn't know like an N gauge to my Z gauge like model trains. So it was all good. Although maybe I got some knowledge back in those days. No, I don't remember any issues like that. I was 16. It was like 3 hours on a Saturday. It was. I mostly made tea and used a till. I'll make good coffee actually. Anyway, regardless, that back in those days, that was enough to be classed as part of the trade. So that meant I managed to get us tickets to ECTS, which is in like Earl's Court at the time. Sega was there. A Nintendo. But I saw Peter Molyneux. Oh my god, Peter Molyneux. Oh god, that says a lot. Peter Molyneux do a chat to like 5 people. I was one of those 5. Me and Matt were like 5 and 6. He was doing basically like a little presentation of Black and White, like when that game came out, like around the computer, just on the stand. It was crazy.
How have you not told us this?
I got loads. Anyway. I don't know, but
you sure this weren't a dream and you didn't wake up fancying Peter Molyneux?
But like, even though we had tickets and we were like legit, I guess we were like worried. So me and Matt wore full suits to this. Like,
oh my fucking god! This is the best story I've ever heard.
I wish I had the pictures, but yeah. So we wore like full suits. So 2 16-year-olds. I don't know if we thought we were doing business or what. We weren't. We're just going in to play the games. But yeah, 2 16. I mean, imagine like going to EGX, right? And seeing 2 16-year-olds wearing full suits. That's all we were.
Please tell me you had like a bad moustache as well, Matt.
No, I was 16, James.
This is the best. Did you have business cards with you?
No, because I worked. No. Actually, fuck, we might have done. No, that does ring a bell. That does ring a. I remember. Actually, maybe I had the one to the shop. Anyway, regardless.
This is the greatest story I've ever heard.
We're like 16, and like. So we like in Earl's Court day playing games wearing full fucking suits as 16-year-olds. The suit was probably way too big for me anyway. You can imagine being 16-year-old not married. After that, like none of this is actually bullshit. After that, like there was a point with me and Matt because we were like 16, we're in London, we're in the big smoke from Bognor Regis.
You keep telling us you were 16.
We went to a shop and we managed to buy. We got someone to buy a special brew. Right. So then at one point we were then. Kids between the age of 15 and 17, say, wearing suits in London, drinking special brew in like Leicester Square. And then we went to actually, how can we be? Oh, maybe this is a couple of years later when we were 18. It must have been the case because we got into like
What? Stop talking about your age.
Sorry. Anyway, we got into Ministry of Sound and it all got weird. Anyway.
What?
Well, what was the question?
Where did that bit come from?
This is the weirdest story, Matt. This is weirder than like the dream stuff.
Is it? Why?
Are you sure this wasn't a dream?
What's weird about that?
This new Matt is brilliant. He don't give a fuck anymore. He's going to tell us everything.
Yeah.
Like, no holding back now, no holds barred.
No.
This is brilliant.
So basically what I'm saying is, yes, it was amazing, my first one, but I've the best story. I mean, James, what we should probably go to you first. What do you think about your first one?
Well, not my first one, because I can't... I mean, the first ones... I don't even remember which ones I've been to be honest. I mean, one of the ones that I had...
You're so jaded.
What about your first expo?
I don't remember, honestly.
Why?
I don't
So jaded. It's been so many now.
Okay.
I was fed up at that point.
16-year-old James couldn't give a fuck.
But no, I don't remember. I mean, I do remember one of the best memories I've got of doing...
All right, let's do that.
That's a good thing about memories.
What... Like dreams, isn't
remember
it?
Them.
Well, but one of my favourites was when we went to that Nintendo Switch event and playing snipper clips with Sean in front of an audience was fun. That was really good, and like people like laughing at us.
Well, this is it, and this relates back to the original email. Like when, like take for example the Retro Asylum thing that I did on the Saturday at EGX this year. It was kind of like the games. No one really knew them. They weren't that great, they were these old games. They were all very, but people got into it. Just like, especially the bar serving one, and that little buggy game we were playing where we were driving along the moon. People got into it, and it was like cheering and shouting and stuff like that. And in settings like that, it's just fun. Do you know what I mean? It's just fun. It doesn't matter what the game is. Like the competitive nature of playing it like that is just fun to watch and be a part of. So yeah, that shit's cool. I like that. But yeah, no, sorry. What happened at the Switch event then? What made it so special for you?
That's what I just said. Playing snipper clips for Sean.
Yeah, I know, but like, I mean, just playing it in front of an audience is one thing, but like, what elevates it to your favourite expo moment?
Because it was funny because like we were playing and then we weren't really aware that we were kind of being watched, and then it was like we were kept on like messing up all the time, and then we were like laughing, and then everyone else was laughing as well, and it was just great. That was really good.
Matt, what's yours then?
Well, I think it's one of yours. Surely it's when it's EGX. It was like I was 16. No, it was a few years ago, and it was when it was still in London. And I guess I must have forgot to order a Saturday ticket, or there was an issue with my tickets. Anyway, I didn't have a ticket.
Oh God,
we must have
course.
tweeted about it. And Mark Ray, aka Chazzy, aka the host of Honourable Mentions, at the time he worked for
Nintendo.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, he basically, like, at the time, like, designed, like, the stands for Nintendo. He DM'd us saying, yeah, I can get, like, an exhibitor pass for the Saturday. I guess we must have put it on the day before or whatever, and we basically got it, but we managed to basically get in the whole, like, place, like, an hour or so before everyone else, and it was a year that they were showing off Xbox One for the first time, and PS4, and it was unbelievable. I managed to sneak Dave in, because at that point I was like, well, I've got an exhibitor pass now, so I was at, like, Billy Big Bollocks, and Dave didn't have one, but he had, like, an early bird or whatever it was. Anyway, so I had my exhibitor pass, and I was like, because going in there, but I need him. What was the reason I said that I needed you in there with me?
No, you just said that, oh, no, he's with me. And he said, well, he can't come in, he's press. And you said, no, I've already spoken to someone about it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And the guy just went, oh, okay.
Yeah, I bluffed him. I was feeling bullshit. Yeah, I need him with me. And then, yeah, it's just me and Dave were in there, and we'd been there the day before. We knew what the queues were like for the Xbox and PS4 stand, but we just went straight in there, and that's the special memory. Because like we got to play as consoles.
We played Drive Club, we played Forza, we played
tons of stuff, and it's like, oh, we're playing these, and there's like no queue, and there's no one in the place, and we're just like there, people still setting up the stands.
And then so Sony had this system where you had to take a ticket, and you had to use your ticket on free games, and then get out of the area. And when it had officially opened, and we were still playing Killzone for ages, the staff came over and said, oh, have you got any tickets left? I said, oh no, we've been in here since before it opened. We weren't given tickets. She just went, oh, right, okay, here's some tickets. And we were like, we get to stay even longer. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that whole thing was great. Yeah. No, one of my favourite moments was podcasting in front of Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic.
Oh my god, I saw a picture from that the other day, because that was like the 11th. That was like the 11th of October. It must have been later back in those days. And right. I saw a picture of like me saying, "Here's Yuji Naka in the press room, probably playing Angry Birds." He was on his phone.
Really?
I'll find the picture and I'll tweet it on our computer game show, like Twitter. It's amazing seeing that.
I had that moment where we watched him the dev conference, and they're always the highlights for me. We didn't go to any this year, which was a shame. But we've seen Peter Molyneux do a talk. We were literally sitting right behind David Cage before he went up and did one. We've seen Peter Molyneux do two there. We saw him during Fable 3 and the Curiosity, the Cube, or whatever it was.
I remember that event. That was interesting.
Well, anyway. So we went to see Yuji Naka, and he was talking about his. The idea was he was talking about his new game, like Ivy the Kiwi or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. I think that's right, actually. But it was just like a DS game. But then he had like a huge Q&A where you could ask about anything. You didn't just have to ask about the game. And I had a question that I wanted to ask, but like in a room that size as well, panic was setting in. I thought I really should push myself to ask this, but at the same time, this is like really awkward, because what if A gets asked this all the time, or B, and it could not have gone better. So the question was, how do you feel now that Mario and Sonic are in games together, right? Simple like that. It got a huge reaction in the room, then a huge reaction from him when the translator was told, and then it was reported on like various news sites, like that Yuji Naka spoke about what he feels about Mario and Sonic appearing in games together, and I was like, that couldn't have gone better. Like, that's the dream, right? That's got to be the dream when you ask a question at one of these. So yeah, no, that was that was a nice memory as well. But we've had so many memories. I mean, yeah, like watching Valve talk about. Do you remember Left 4 Dead 2?
Oh,
Matt?
yeah.
I felt so sorry for that guy. I don't think Valve knew how big EGX was, and I don't think they sent like their top boy to come and give it, because he looked so nervous. It was like they said, there's this thing in Britain, go and just talk about the game a little bit. It's probably about a room of about 12 people, and he showed up and there was hundreds of people in the audience, and he just looked completely shocked, didn't he? But he got through it. Like, he did really well and told us some really interesting stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've had so many good memories at these things, and if there's one thing that I mean, I absolutely adored going to EGX this year, but if there's one thing that I wish I could go back and change, it's to be less cynical about the whole thing. Because I think these expos are great, and if you're of a certain age or if it's your first one, then you shouldn't feel silly for being excited about them, because that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, who gives a fuck if you have to queue up for ages, man? That's part of the experience. So yeah, it's cool. That's it. We've done that, right?
That's that question
Was
done.
that the first one?
That's the question.
That was the first question. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, settled in.
Oliver Birch says, "Afternoon, fellas. I've only just recently discovered this podcast, and I'm gutted I never heard about it before. Just the right level of humour, discussion, and coverage. Also, proper cracks me up. Always a good time. It's a quality show."
Nice.
Got a few questions after a bit of Red Dead Redemption 2 preamble. Red Dead Redemption 2 is on its way, and we know it's going to fly off the shelves. However, I worry that it'll pale in comparison to GTA 5 in the long term, and that it could be another franchise that actually grinds to a halt. I don't think the online longevity is there. GTA has gone so far because it can afford to do stupid things with each update, like flying bikes, ridiculous homes, supercars, but what can Red Dead Redemption 2 offer? Golden horseshoes, cowskin waistcoats? So, do you think Red Dead Redemption 2 will be defined by its single player and ultimately short-lived in its success, or do you think Rockstar have an ace up their sleeve for online? In brackets, dare I say, Battle Royale. Have any of you... Okay, so we'll do that one first. So, what do you think?
Well, I think you're right. I think it will be defined by the single player rather than the multiplayer. I don't think it matters. I think it's going to sell well enough to be a success. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see it being anything other than, the biggest launch game of this generation and all that sort of stuff. We're going to see a lot of stats come out that, confirm that this has been absolutely, like, it's just gone crazy. I mean, you can't compare it to GTA. GTA, especially the online stuff for GTA 5, has been a complete phenomenon. Like, it's so huge.
I don't think they didn't expect it, did they?
No, they certainly didn't. It's been so huge that you can't compare games to that. That is just a ridiculous standard to hold most games to, let alone a cowboy game, which obviously has not a niche audience. I still think it's massively popular, but to be that, I mean, it's going to be big in its own right, but nowhere near as big as GTA, I don't think. The online stuff, I don't really care about it. But then saying that, I'm not the right person to ask, because I didn't really care about the online stuff in GTA 5, ultimately. I mean, we played it for a little while, and the cunning stunts stuff was brilliant. But, I never really got into it in a big way. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. But, I'm not that interested in the online. I'm seriously interested in the single player, which gives me, I don't know if it's the same for you, Matt, but it's been giving me like Witcher 3 vibes. You know what I mean? Like a massive open world. Yeah, God, yeah.
I mean, I haven't played enough Witcher 3, but I'm very excited for it. In terms of the online, there was so much potential and excitement about Red Dead Redemption, the online for that. But that seems to like dry out pretty quickly. And GTA Online is great fun, but I just don't really play it. So I'm not really excited about the online. It's the single player game. It's finding all the stories and the various incredible things that Rockstar do to the games. Just experiencing those sort of adventures on your own, really. So yeah, it's not going to do GTA numbers, but it's going to do big numbers.
Sorry, what we can ultimately say is you don't need to worry about that game. Like, don't worry about it. It's gonna do well enough to be incredible for Rockstar, I think. And even if they take a hit on it, I think this is sort of a passion project. So, they'll. I
don't think it's a passion project. Passion project implies it doesn't matter what happens. The fact they've got it out. I mean, this is going to do ridiculous numbers. It just won't do GTA 5 numbers.
Totally. But I kind of feel that if it if they weren't guaranteed those huge sales, they still would have done it anyway, because fuck it, why not? They're absolutely loaded.
But this is Rockstar, where everything they release does big numbers, so I think, yeah. But no, I obviously can't wait. It feels like everything's just gearing up to that. I'm just like getting everything out of the way before that. So I'll be very surprised and disappointed if that isn't the game I'm just obsessing over now from the last time it comes out until obviously throughout this year and next year. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm obviously incredibly psyched. I haven't actually watched the second gameplay trailer. I didn't want to watch it. I know it's probably not giving much away, but
it didn't tell you. No, it didn't tell you too much.
I just want to just drink it in when it gets there. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
For real. James, I mean, you've not really spoken much about Red Dead, and I know what you like. You let us talk about it, and you think that's enough, but I'm interested, have you pre-ordered it?
Not yet, but I'm going to, because it is a game that I really, really want, because I loved the first game. But a bit like Matt, I'm kind of just trying to ignore everything until it comes out, and then I just want to play it. I'm not interested in watching like trailers and talking about whether the horse has got like balls and stuff. I don't care. I'm just waiting for the game to come out.
Clearly, you have read some stuff then.
Yeah. Well, the previous.
Why are you focusing on the horse testicles, James?
Well, everyone else seems to be.
It's true. It's just weird that that'd be the first thing you point out. But
I wonder how true that is, and whether that was just a Rockstar employee having a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine once you've demoed the game to the 7,000th journalist, at some point you're like, oh yeah, also this happens, and also the game's so realistic, you can say anything I want, and
It sounded like they were asking a question about how detailed the world is, and it was like, yeah, you know what, even the horse testicles shrink when it sounded like a throwaway joke that seems to have been taken seriously.
I mean, there are going to be a lot of YouTube videos just called, horse testicles do shrink. Exclamation hashtag Red Dead 2.
You won't believe what else shrinks in.
Well,
etc.
If it's cold. Is that what you're?
Okay, was that the end of the email?
No, there's another 2 questions. So, have any of you played or reviewed Darkest Dungeon? We'll be keen to hear your thoughts on it.
No,
don't know anything about
that sounds like a classic Sean game. So we're asking.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I bet he's all over that. Sean's sitting out right now, screaming. Yeah, yeah.
Actually jacking it.
And then he said, "What's this about David leaving? Is this a permanent fixture for the new year?" So yes,
yeah, I'm leaving because I'm having a second kid, and you don't want to be hearing a podcast with a baby crying in the background. Trust me. So, and I live in a 2-bedroom maisonette, so it's not like I can just go to the West Wing like James. I've literally, I'm right going to be near the kids, so it's not happening. But I'll be back eventually, I think, on the Cranky Gamer podcast.
No, you're not. I love this email, but also when he says, "Oh, I'm a new listener," and he said, "What's this about David leaving?" I just sort of forget that we have new listeners. I'm like, what do you mean?
So do I. We're such an in-jokey show.
Know, like, all the entire backstory. But David's leaving. That's the story.
Okay, can we keep this under 3 minutes now? Because then we'll be under 2 hours, which would be good.
Oh, no.
No, I don't want to be under 2 hours. Go on, go.
Well, no, because then it's Dash Radio, isn't it?
We don't care. We've broken ties with them. I mean, we sent them shows. We don't even know if they played them.
I emailed the live show and I emailed last week's show. I haven't actually checked whether it's on the air, but we'll see.
I doubt it. Go on.
Robert Mitchell says, "Hi guys, thanks for the hours of laughs each month you give me on the tedious commute to and from work. I have a dilemma which I wanted a second opinion on. I'm from the Sega Mega Drive generation, where you would typically only get 2 or 3 new games a year, so therefore would play each game to death with the aim of completing them.
Yeah.
However, with Games with Gold and Gamer Pass now available, I have access to more games than I could ever play, but I try to only start a game with the intention of completing it, or at least finishing the main story. I've started Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and I'm really struggling to get into it." What did I say?
Blag
did I say
Flag.
Black Flag?
You said Black Flag.
Black Flag.
And I'm really struggling to get into it.
Yeah.
I've given it about 2 hours so far and just feel like jacking in and moving on to something else. In your collective opinion, is it acceptable to admit defeat, or should I stick with it and give it more time?
Oh, God, yeah.
It feels like it's going against my natural instinct to quit, but with limited gaming time now, I feel like I should use it wisely. But that means unless a game grabs me quickly, I'll potentially miss out on a slow-burning gem. What are your thoughts? Can I say what I think about that?
No. Okay. Yeah, of course you can.
Well, no, because see, I still strongly believe in like giving stuff time. Like, unless it's like real, like clearly really awful and you really hate it, like from the beginning, I still think it's a good idea to like give stuff time, to see how
What
it.
about Stardew Valley, James?
I did. I played that for
good
probably
shout.
played that for nearly as much as you did, Matt. So
How many hours do you play it for?
About 20 hours or so.
No way.
I think it's less than that. Anyway, so
we can check on that, can't we?
Well, that's that. I just think you should give it time. I mean, we all know what you think about this, Matt, because you play usually for about, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Fuckloads of games. Sorry for being vulgar. I finished fuckloads of games this year, James. I've been finishing games left, right and centre.
Yeah, but games that you started 2 years ago, Matt.
Yeah.
What, like Astrobot? And
how's The Witcher 3 going, Matt?
I've had other games to play. Someone else asked me that. Well, I've had loads of other games that come out this year to play. What do you expect me to do?
Also, Sean, how are you getting on with Yakuza, mate? Thought so.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think you're right, James, to some extent, that, time, you should give games time to sort of grow into themselves, or give them time to get into it. But, I mean, look into it is what I'd say. If you're getting to the point where you're going, why the fuck should I continue with this? Then read a few reviews and see what they say, because there's every chance that it's a game that is going to stay the same level for you throughout. So don't waste your time. Don't force yourself. I mean, unless you're reviewing a game, don't force yourself to fucking complete it, because that's insane behaviour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got some tweets?
Yes, I want some tweets.
Yeah, go on, James.
I think Matt hasn't put these in the doc, so I've had to just grab a couple. So if you want to tweet us, it's at ComputerGamePod on Twitter.
So you throw me under the bus. I'll put your emails in. What
you were slagging me off earlier for being surprised that I've got to read this stuff, and
you had a go at him because we didn't discuss it, and now you're having a go at him.
Well, yeah, because he's got it both ways, isn't it? He's like, put these in here for me to read, and then he's had a go at me for doing it, and now he's having a go because I've not, because of the tweet stuff.
Mate, interface is proper dead, isn't it? It's gone now.
Just read twitter.com, James.
Mason says, as a podcast with a north-south divide, you are uniquely placed to settle a debate which is raging on the Discord. Sausages and saveloys from the chip shop are the same thing.
I'm so glad this question's been asked.
What the fuck?
Of course they're not.
Go on.
I really miss saveloys, because you don't really get them up here.
I didn't think they were. I thought they're just,
one's a sausage, the other's a saveloy.
Yeah,
exactly.
What the fuck is this conversation? There's no conversation here.
I think some people are confused. I mean, the people who knew what they were talking about, like Southerners and stuff, or maybe, I don't know, but basically some people knew what they were talking about. Clearly, saveloys are different. They've got like a much sort of thicker skin, and they're red, and I really fucking miss saveloys.
They taste completely different. Yeah. They're not a sausage. Like, what is this discussion?
I mean, the only thing is they're shaped in the same way, kind of, but that's the only similarity between them.
Yeah, I mean, it's alright. Saveloys taste like pepper-filled balloons. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a saveloy, but when you have I've stopped ordering them at chip shops now, saveloys, because, right, here's my reasoning. I'm not a big fish eater, so I don't have like cod and chips or whatever. But I used to have a saveloy and chips when I ordered fish and chips, but the consistency of a good saveloy has gone down fucking hill recently. Like, I've had some dreadful saveloys, whereas a sausage and batter, that's way more consistently alright. So that's what I tend to order now.
Yeah,
that's true, but the level of grease on those is like insane sometimes.
It's ridiculous. But then if you're eating a chip shop, you're not eating it for healthy food, are you, James? You know what I mean?
That's true.
You want as much grease as possible. Saveloys are fucking brilliant, aren't they? They're just the best.
They are great. When they're good, they're fucking incredible. But when they're bad, they're really fucking bad.
Yeah, if you really think saveloy is a sausage, then you fucked up. It's not. It's a saveloy. And they're very different.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was up for a debate. I did not know that was up for debate.
Imagine thinking a regular sausage is a saveloy. It's messed up.
Imagine sticking a couple of saveloys in with your bangers and mash. You know what I mean?
Actually, I would like to try that. Cheers.
Right.
Okay. So,
sorry. We should ask. He said the north-south divide, so maybe we should ask Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the same, actually. Technically, reading up on it on them.
Thanks, Sean. Okay.
Okay, Llama Fluff, or Thomas, says, any plans for more themed podcasts, maybe around a retrospective around a specific console? It'd be like Cane and Rinse, except it would be good, and with less beard-stroking driedness.
Should we tell him my idea? Should I tell him my idea?
Unless Cane and Rinse go nick it, I don't know.
What was this idea?
Well, we were thinking about, like, ways to sort of...
Yeah, that's a great
make
idea.
money.
Maybe we should save that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why? Well, fuck it, I'm going to drop it.
No, because exactly, we might want to use it. And
well, you can't if I'm not on the show.
We can do it
Yes,
one, David. You're not around next year.
No, you cannot. I will sue the fuck out of you if you did that. You can't make money off my idea when I'm not on the show. That's outrageous.
It's a collective idea.
It was literally my idea. No, it wasn't. It was literally my idea.
Well, okay. But it's our idea.
So a premium show
that the debate, David, but
a premium
I don't think
show
you can
that
claim ownership.
We charge £1 for, right? Just £1, where it's our Game of the Year show, but instead we're voting on like best console, best game of a generation, or a best console, or something like that, something along those lines.
I thought that was Matt's idea.
Absolutely not.
Well, okay, no,
Absolutely
it was my idea for premium
not.
episodes. It was Dave's idea for that Game of the Year style one.
Hold on, it was your idea for premium episodes.
Yeah, I said,
Matt, that's just a thing. Like, that's not an idea.
No,
that's just a thing.
I didn't claim it was my idea.
Does.
I said it was brought up, but I brought up. But I wouldn't claim it was my idea. Just like, anyway, regardless. But it was Dave's suggestion that we do one for like Game of the Year style, but for consoles, etc.
Yeah, something like either best console or best game on the N64 or something like that. £1 a pop. I reckon that's fucking banging. We might as well get feedback on that, right? If not, I'll just bleep that whole bit out. We'll see. Have a think about it when I edit it tomorrow. Let me know if
you
I
got
should keep that
suggestions
in.
for premium episodes that we'll charge £1 for, let us know.
Ones that they can use next year.
Yeah.
Because they ain't using that idea, I'll tell you that. Go on.
Okay, so the Frank
well,
also
maybe you can
says...
take that to the Cranky Gamer podcast, Dave.
Well, maybe I will take it to the Cranky Gamer podcast, my boys.
Take it to the Cranky Gamer podcast.
And I'm going to turn up and go, hey, do you want to do this idea? Yeah, because that other fucking show's shit now. God.
It's the last one I'm doing.
No, David, we don't.
My question to you all is, what's the most expensive... What's the most expensive item you've ever bought and lied about the cost of it to your partner?
Oh. I don't get away with it, really, because we've got a joint account. Yeah.
Well, you don't have your own single accounts as well?
No.
Wow. But how do you buy surprise gifts and stuff, or Christmas or birthday presents?
We don't. Or I take cash out and buy it that way.
Oh, okay, I guess it's that, yeah.
Like, I mean, people say that, oh my God, you don't have your own bank account. But at the same time, when Joe had Harry, that's when we joined up completely. Because when Joe had Harry, it was kind of like we were either going to live our lives where Joe would constantly ask me for money because she wasn't working.
Yeah,
and
that is a good
point,
to be fair.
Or we just join it and then whatever. And in some aspects, it sucks because I don't get to spend any money on myself without being shouted at. But also, I don't have to worry about money. Joe does it all. You know what I mean? It's fine. So yeah. I mean, we argue about it a lot, and it's actually a living hell. But other than that, it's fine. It's
great.
fine.
It is fine, that is.
Yeah, it's fine, that one.
I can't really think of an answer that's decent.
Matt, you must do it all the time.
I lied about or didn't tell the full price.
There's something expensive that you bought and you lied about the price of to your wife.
I'm sure like most games will say, oh yeah, it's just 20 quid. Don't.
I have got a situation now where I've got Red Dead Redemption 2 coming and that's not been discussed.
Yeah, I sort of know what you mean now.
That was like an ASMR video.
I saw it.
I'm just going to put a bit of paper.
Little bit of paper. No, I put some off there. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything specific.
It's the getting off thing again.
James, you?
No, because the same situation as David. Although I did have that similarly with Astrobot. Because, like, first of all, I kind of shared it with you. Like, you shared it with me and I played it. And then I just thought, I'm going to go and buy this. And you see, Jen, she'd already asked me, like, where'd you get that? And I said, I'm just borrowing it off Matt, from the thing. And then later on, she then looked at the bank account and was like, why? What's this? And I said, well, I bought that. And she's like, I thought you said Matt had, like, then to you. I was like, yeah, he did. But then I just thought I'll buy it myself. And so, yeah, she wasn't that pleased about that.
Yeah, it's definitely worse. So, like, you had it for free, but you still went away and bought it.
Yeah, that is mad. Joe would have killed me for that. She would have killed me.
At least James is supporting VR developers everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to be done.
It's got to be done.
It has. Otherwise, there might not be an Astrobot 2. There's not going to be an Astrobot 2.
I don't think Chen gives a shit if there was an Astrobot 2, to be honest with you, James.
No, she really doesn't. Yeah.
So that's
I tried to
it,
get
is
her
it?
to play it, you know. She didn't like it.
No, not a fan. Fair enough. Okay, right, are we done?
Yep.
I bet there was loads of tweets, loads of really good ones. So James was like, "Yeah, we are done." Because
we'll save them for Sean. He can deal with that.
Well, no, there's one question here. Oh, okay, no, well, fine, forget it.
Right then, that's us. I mean, listen, you lot, you're all lovely, and we appreciate your time and effort. I don't know where I was going with that. I mean, I'm sure Matt's got stuff to say. Have you?
Yeah. Well, the only thing really is, if you haven't, like, we'd love to get to 1,000 subs on YouTube, right? So if you haven't already subscribed on YouTube, it takes 2 seconds. We really appreciate it. So we're asking, go on YouTube, subscribe to it. Just search for the Computer Game Show in the app or on YouTube.com and give us a little sub, and we'd absolutely appreciate it. And that's pretty much it. All the rest are in the show notes. You know that.
I should also say a massive shout out to we do it often, but the Player One podcast and CJ, who did a live show this week wearing the Computer Game Show T-shirt, which was absolutely brilliant to see. Yeah, totally. It was like a little. Amazing. It's lovely. It was like a little nod back to James, who won the Player One podcast.
I was following. I was obviously, I know that they were at that event this weekend or last weekend. I was looking at all their pictures and stuff. I didn't see the pictures from the live show.
I tweeted it. I think from TCGS. I think.
I don't remember.
But yeah, no, that was really lovely to see. So go and check out the Player One podcast.
Definitely.
And thanks. That was just really nice. And that's it. I think. We're done.
Again, if you we've got Life is Strange spoiler cast out there. If you have played it, give it a listen. If you haven't, but you know someone who does play it, let them know the show's out there. It was great fun to record, and things happened. It's a shame almost that not everyone's going to hear it because they don't care about the game or whatever. Because there's some really good bits in it, I think. Yeah, there's some funny stuff in there, but. Whatever. All right. Okay. Thanks for living it. We'll catch you next week, hopefully with a full cast. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, by gum.